Hello, folks, and welcome to the final day here in the Gfinity Arena, bringing you the Summer Masters #1. I am Sir Scoots. I'm joined by my buddies. Notice I dropped the good. Yeah. Maybe your buddies. I don't know. Richard Lewis.
Been a long event.
Duncan Shields, also known to everyone as Thorin.
It's the championship day, Scott. And at Gfinity, that means Taz arms.
Oh, Taz arms. Taz arms. Taz arms.
Do the Taz arms.
He can do that from the audience now, can't he?
I've seen him
hey,
do
that
it
was your pick.
I've seen him doing it outside there.
Yeah, that's why I'm going in on him.
I'm out, mate. I'm off, see ya.
Yeah, see you, mate.
Oh, boy. Poor Taz. All right. Well, let's get right into it, obviously. Big day today. Yeah. Lots of good stuff. Obviously, great Counter-Strike. And obviously, for you folks at home, great bunch of giveaways. I know some of you would already have seen the promo on the Twitch stream before we went live. But we just want to talk to you through it one more time. If you go ahead and become a registered user of the Gfinity website, if you're in Twitch chat, and if you subscribe, there's a whole variety of things you can win. Production's going to show you the graphic in just a minute. You might have already seen it. But the idea is there's a couple different tiers of skins you can win. To win the basic skins, if you will, are not the super fancy Fade Knife. You just have to have a free registered account on Gfinity, got to be in Twitch chat, type in !drop when they say, and you got tons of stuff you can win.
What's the best prize?
Best prize is the Falchion Fade Knife. Really, really sweet. And that one, again, got to be in Twitch chat, have to have a subscriber account on Gfinity.net. And that's only like £2.50, about $4.
I've been told it's the same as the price of a cup of coffee.
Same as the price of coffee.
Yeah,
depending on what part of the country you live in, sure.
Yeah.
So, again, that's how you can win all sorts of stuff all day long.
Absolutely.
There's moderators in the Twitch chat. They will be telling you when a competition's about to start, so you know when to type drop and all that. So, good stuff there.
Thing is, that would be exciting to win a really rare knife. But what I'd do is I'd take the excitement to the next level. You know, I don't know when to stop, Rich. I'd take that knife, I'd put it in one of those gambling sites. I'd try and win like 10 knives. Then I'd get the money, then I'd sell it on the Steam marketplace. Then I'd invest into Google stocks. Then Google would come out with a new product. Then I'd be like a millionaire already overnight. Next thing you know, I'm running Gfinity.
Wow. That's the next level
Isn't
investment.
See if I win the knife first, though, guys.
Isn't that how, like...
£2.50.
Isn't that how Red Eye got to the top again, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Skins
I think
money.
he won like a factory-hardened karambit or something, and then somehow he's just running the company now. It's mad.
A factory-hardened haircut.
It's out of control. Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right into it and kind of catch you up if you're just joining us for the first time today. We've had 2 days of group play, 2 groups of 4 teams each. We're going to show you Group A, as you can see. Why don't you walk us through this?
Yeah,
Richard?
so obviously Ninjas in Pyjamas got us up and running against SK Gaming. Close series, but Ninjas in Pyjamas class did tell, and they were able to get past the plucky Danes. Then we had Titan versus Team Dignitas. Team Dignitas with a comprehensive 2-0 over Titan, the French in free fall. Then Titan were able to overcome SK Gaming to send them home. Again, there was a close opening game before Titan ran away with it. Ninjas in Pyjamas had to play Dignitas, knock them into the lower bracket fairly comprehensively. But then Dignitas did the double over Titan, 2-1, which means the Danes are one of the surprise upsets in the semi-finals. I mean, you can argue about that, whether or not it is. I think a lot of people felt Titan would have got through, and they, of course, joined the Swedish powerhouse in the form of Ninjas in Pyjamas. And
then, obviously, we had 2 groups, so Group B is going to come your way right now. Thorin, why don't you walk us through this one?
Yeah, so we had Envious facing off against Cloud9 at their second big European event with this lineup. And it was kind of the same story as the last one. They lost out to Envious at this one. Then in the other match, we had Virtus Pro taking on Mousesports. Should have been a big win for Virtus Pro, you'd figure, but Mousesports shocked them. 2-0 on 2 maps that Virtus is supposed to be good on. Upper bracket final was Envious Mousesports. Again, surprisingly, Mousesports make it closer than it should be maybe. And this time, actually, they get to 3 maps with Envious, but Envious does prevail. They come out with the top seed. In the lower bracket, Cloud9 plays Virtus Pro, and unfortunately, they go out 2-0. They're out of the tournament in last place. Last place, North America. So Virtus Pro then goes on. Turns out they're not even that great. They lose to just Mousesports. But no, very, very impressive win by Mousesports. It was actually overtime on the 3rd map. Mousesports go through, shockingly, in the 2nd seed, and then obviously they're going to be in the playoffs now, right?
We talked about this yesterday, and I did my best to defend North America. They took a map. And there's a couple teams here that didn't take a map, I think, right? And didn't SK not take a map? So can we say
they're better than SK Gaming?
So can we say 7th place at least and not 8th place?
Better than SK Gaming. Well done. Yeah.
All right, and as you guys just saw, the knockout bracket. And a cool thing about today, obviously 2 best-of-3s. All of group play yesterday was best-of-3s, so no randos, no like, oh, they got lucky, none of that kind of stuff. And then obviously what we all love, Gfinity's doing, a lot of other tournaments are picking it up. Grand final, best-of-5s.
Yeah, and of course, the best-of-5 format, we've said it many times over the course of the broadcast, but there's just nowhere to hide in a best of 5. You've got to play pretty much all of the maps, the core of the map pool. The people that are getting by in the best of 3s with sort of sneaky vetoes and relying on, maybe having a wild card map that they can get through. If that gets banned out and you've got to play all the main core maps, all of a sudden the final's looking a lot more difficult. There's just no argument if you lose a best of 5 about who was the better team on that particular day.
I mean, you have to realize best of 5 actually as a format wasn't even used in any of the majors so far in CSGO. And of the 5 majors, only 1 ever ended 2-0. So every other major, you go and talk to the players and there's a sob story of like, oh, and if it wasn't that particular map, if we'd have picked differently, or and if it wasn't this key pistol that I lost. If they'd have gone 5 maps, if we'd take those same 4 finals, I guarantee you very few of them would be 3-2. A bunch of them would have been like, maybe the person that won would have convincingly done it. I think actually it would have just been better for the sport if we'd had it at that point. But now we're in this era where we can have the best of 5 finals, so I'm always excited to see them.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, before we start diving into our first match, which again, obviously is going to be Navi versus Mousesports, we had a chance yesterday to sit down. Wait, what?
You said Navi.
Oh, did I say Navi?
Stop writing NiP like that.
What? NiP versus Mousesports. I wish Navi was here. Great guys. We sat down with 2 really rock-solid in-game leaders to get their deep, real thoughts, not fluffy interview thoughts about what it's like to be an in-game leader. We sat down with Exist and Existence. So we're going to show you that, and then I definitely want to talk to you, Thorin, and get your thoughts on what they say.
Okay.
Obviously, you need a lot of game sense to be in-game leader, but I think one important part is being calm and not being stressed. Because once you're stressed yourself as an in-game leader, that can affect your teammates.
Pour être honnête, j'ai jamais réussi vraiment à répondre à la question. Moi, je sais que j'arrivais à apporter une bonne mentalité, une vue du jeu, une bonne vue du jeu en termes généraux. J'arrivais à comprendre rapidement pourquoi on avait perdu et ce qu'on devait faire dans un match. J'arrivais à apporter une aide tactique, par exemple sur Source ou même sur CSGO avec des stratégies spéciales.
When it's a tight round, the final, the major, I think that's when the big in-game leaders can shine. That's when the best players step forward.
Je pense que c'est comme pour les joueurs, comme pour n'importe quel joueur, on essaie de faire son rôle au mieux à ce moment-là. Évidemment, la pression monte. Je pense qu'il n'y a pas de différence en fait.
Sometimes they blame me if we lose, but I'm fine with that. But later, maybe they realize that it wasn't my fault. Because I can blame others as well if we lose an important round, and I feel I did the right call, but someone failed something. That in the end, it's a team game, and you win and lose as a team.
C'est pas évident, ça demande une ouverture d'esprit et de s'écouter dans l'équipe, d'en parler, de prendre le temps d'en parler et de faire au mieux pour l'équipe. Ça c'est un travail d'équipe et ouais, ça chacun, c'est de la maturité avant tout, je pense.
I think Get-Right had a similar style as me calling, so we won't see any huge difference from a spectator view. But one of the big things I want to change now is bring Alu into the game more, let him have a more freer role and kind of take those entries with the ult, because he's very good obviously. And I think that he's kind of falling behind the other 4 players and he hasn't found his spot in the team yet, in-game wise. So I'm trying to bring him to his best level, and I think so far so good.
Je pense que j'ai beaucoup changé parce qu'au début sur Source j'étais le pro pour crier et pour mettre tout le monde dedans, et après quand on est arrivé sur CSGO j'ai remarqué que avec les joueurs que j'avais dans mon équipe j'avais besoin de calme, comme c'est le cas aujourd'hui avec des joueurs comme Kini et Apec où ça peut partir dans tous les sens, et du coup j'ai changé. Je suis passé du mec qui crie au mec qui calme ses coéquipiers. Ça, ouais, on verra, je sais pas trop, mais ça peut être une possibilité. Moi l'idée de coacher une équipe, etc. me dérange pas, mais j'ai beaucoup trop envie de jouer pour me mettre en tant que coach.
All right, so Thorin, just kind of basic thoughts. Obviously, you're good friends with a lot of in-game leaders. You obviously have good conversations with them. Your thoughts on kind of their perspectives?
I think you got a few key points actually. under the surface there. Like, first of all, what's interesting is when they're having to describe what they're strong at, they weren't like, well, you know, I just do a little bit of everything. You know, I guess the players really win. They were all sort of like, listen, I'm very strong tactically. Like, you know, I tell people what to do and if it's the right call. Like, there's a famous thing where I was once having a discussion with Happy, the in-game leader of Envious, who's going to be playing in the semi-final here, and he was telling me about, listen, you've got to understand, like, star players, they have this huge ego. You know, they have to be catered to in a very specific way. And I was like, listen, mate, listening to you, I'm going to tell you about a concept called in-game leader ego. Like, an in-game leader has this very specific ego as well. Like, I know what's right for this team, and if I make a call, even if you think it's wrong, you have to do it. So Exist was saying there, listen, hey, I can blame people if I think it was the right call and they didn't do it, you know. Existence obviously has a very strict system, but you can see that's also the other aspect that I was going to bring up, which is you have to be the in-game leader based on the personnel that you've got. You can't just decide this is the perfect way to play and do that. Because, for example, Existence was saying there, he used to actually be very loud in Source. That was his style. But what he's realized is when you've got star players like Kenny S, I mean, obviously he's a great example there. If he's someone who needs calm, I mean, I've heard Get Right like this as well. They need everyone to just be chilled out and kind of let them work. You know, if you're really loud there, you're actually going to ruin your chances to win, even if you might be saying all the right things. You know, so again, it's not just about like your strengths. You have to fit it to your team specifically. Because I've seen like what's a great example is Mousesports is in this semi-final. I always thought God B was a really good leader in his history, but I think part of the reason why you're seeing his team flourish now, he's finally got the right players around him. He had people like Alu before, and they were good individually, but the team wasn't that great. And so you can have better players, and it might not work as well if you don't fit your style to the personnel of the players.
Point, yeah?
Yeah, well, just to the point about Existence, one of the reasons there's so much bad blood sort of between him and Shocks was that he did used to wreck people, especially in Source. And at the start of the Very Games tenure, when they came into CSGO and they had Kenny S in that team with RPK, they used to sit next to each other, and Kenny S was a rage machine. Kenny S used to be slamming, everybody knows this, be slamming his headset down, slamming his mouse down. And if anyone's ever watched RPK play, you know, there's a reason why he's known in France as the Godfather. He internalizes, like, but he has got a temper. He's not afraid about making his views known. He just doesn't do it when a game's on. And he would sit there and see, thinking, why am I sat next to this kid who's flipping his shit all the time? Yeah. And Existence sort of had to realize that, like, actually, if I'm kind of encouraging that, if I bring that old style into this, I'm never going to be able to work with a flamboyant player like a Shocks or like a Kenny S. So he has actually changed his the way he sort of communicates, but still, when it comes to the sort of tactical aspect, how he thinks about the game, how he presents the game, he's still the same old Existence that he's been for years and years and years.
I can say you wouldn't want to mess around with RPK, though. I've seen him.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did, you might wake up with Kiyoshima's head on your pillow next year.
Yeah, exactly, mate.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the NiP roster. Why don't you walk us through this, Richard?
Yeah, so these players should need no introductions. Exist, we just saw there in the interview, back to in-game leading duties, although there was talk briefly about maybe Natu taking over from a coaching role, kind of doing that quarterback thing. That never came. They brought Exist back, and got to be said, he's in good form at the moment. He's added a bit of fragging to his game. Usually that wasn't the case. So he's in a good place as a good all-rounder, bringing a lot to the team currently. Forest, of course, one of the greats. There's always the debate, is it him, is it Neo? But he's been in a bit of a slump in form. Depressingly, he knows it as well. He kind of is a little bit down on his luck, down on himself. Hasn't been in a good place for a while, but, you know, is slowly kind of getting back there. But, you know, he's still a wild card. All that experience, all that pedigree, he can pull a performance out. Then you've got the star player in NiP, of course, Get Right, one of the true greats, sort of in the modern era of 1.6. Obviously came later to the game than Forrest by quite some distance, but he is the guy who's just consistently fragging. Had a brief tenure as in-game leader recently. That didn't really work out. Didn't work out for him, didn't work out for the team, and now he's back to that classic lurking role where he can just mop up teams and does so for fun. Freiberg, the player that a lot of people thought were on the chopping block. Back when NiP had that ridiculous run, Freiberg was the one that people couldn't believe how good he was. He was winning MVP awards, DreamHack Valencia MVP. He used to just run up banana, 2 kills, no problem. Anywhere he went, he could get entry frags. Recently, he's been statistically the weakest player in the team for some time at every tournament. He had a slightly improved DreamHack summer when it came to entry kills. Still statistically disappointing, but at this event, he's been a monster. No doubt about it. Consistent fragging, and how he needed it because people are speculating another roster change is coming in. And Arlu, of course, the newest addition, brought in because of his chilled personality, but also has been showing off some incredible AWP skills. If he can find that consistency, he's a player that makes the difference. And of course, there's the guy I was just talking about, Forrest there. Now, Patrick, as I said, true veteran of the game, and has actually been a player that's been a bit flexible in his roles for the team. He's a guy who will pick up that second AWP if they need it. That'll be the guy that does that if they need it. He's also, if Freiburg's entry kills her off, he'll go point and he'll try and do it if Freiburg's falling down. Very consistent across the board, but yeah, just right now his form hasn't been that great, and he's been one of the players that have been missing as NiP struggle to find championship form.
Okay, and obviously their opponent today, again, I would say that they were definitely an underdog now today, for sure. Mousesports. Why don't you walk us through these guys, Thorin?
Okay, so we start on the left with the in-game leader, Gobby. What's interesting is back when he used to lead the old Mousesports teams, again, German-based teams in 1.6, he used to be kind of like a second or third star and the in-game leader. He used to actually be a big fragger, maybe akin to what Happy is nowadays in Envious. So obviously, he's had a big impact on this tournament. Mouse has mainly done it through having great teamwork, really good T-side strats. And the man helping trigger all of that is Nex, who's been the best player for them at this tournament, one of the best players in the tournament so far. So if he can continue that form, this will be considered kind of like his big breakout tournament. Him and the two guys next to him, Speedy and Dennis, they all were part of that Penta team, which was able to make it to the round of 8 of the Major. And then on the very right-hand side, kind of a controversial figure to a degree, Chris J, because he's been around a long time. He's often had a lot of mixed online success, but not so much LAN success. Like, the first really big kind of top 4 he's had in a big international type tournament. And we can see there the stats for Gobby there. Quite a surprisingly high 1v1 clutch percentage, but I would also imagine, thinking of how he plays, he's obviously, I don't think he'd be in clutches that often. So maybe that's a little bit inflated there. One ace, interestingly, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, and just to expand on what Duncan was saying there about breakout performers, I think Chris J's he's still been hit and miss over the course of the tournament, but he's done enough to sort of play a part in them getting here. Gobby, tactically, they've probably been one of the strongest teams here, in my opinion, just in the way they've approached series. They've broken teams down. They did a dismantling of Virtus Pro. They did a great performance against Envious, where they learned how to exploit one of Envious's only weaknesses, really. Their overconfidence, their arrogance, their consistent force buying. Gobby was like, look, this is how we can exploit that. Took a map off Envious. That's hugely impressive just in and of itself. And then, of course, Nex. This guy is unbelievable. Like, we always knew he was going to be a good talent, best player in Germany, but I think a lot of people were like, what does that really mean? What does best player in Germany actually mean, given that the German scene has been decimated? And it turns out that he's as good as any rifle here at the moment. There's just no doubt about that. He's top fragged every half, I think, they've played. Consistent killing, clutches, just... He can do everything right now, and he's had an incredible breakout tournament, and people should sit up and take notice.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, because the videos are ready, but we haven't seen them. I'm just curious, what do you think it's going to be?
Well, here's the interesting thing.
Or is it hard to tell with these two teams?
From knowing the teams, the maps that they like to play, I said this when they were playing Envious, is Mouse want to play Dust 2 and Cash. Those are two of their maps. But if you notice, obviously, NiP actually recently has been going away from Dust 2. It seems like they don't want to play Dust 2. They wouldn't play it against Dignitas. I think actually Dignitas banned it there. But I know recently against Dignitas and Navi, they're not playing it in general. So I'd imagine Cash must be in there along the 3. Now I'm trying to think what else there would be. Because the thing is, I don't know if NiP like Train. That's the problem.
Well, they played it against Fnatic, didn't they, at DreamHack?
Yeah, but if you remember, they then banned it at a series here. I think maybe against SK. So the problem there is, do they want to go with that? I'm thinking to myself, Cash, Dust 2 should be banned. So I'm thinking Cobblestone might be in there. Yeah. The problem is, NiP also have been playing Inferno. So I would assume those 3 maps have a very good... 2 out of those 3, I'm pretty sure. Cobblestone, Cash, and what was the other one?
All right.
Cobblestone, Cash, Inferno. It must be 2 of those 3.
They're coming up on our preview screen, so you guys are about to see them in just a second. Let's see what it ends up being. Walk us through this, Richard, when you see it.
Turns out none of those, apparently.
Yeah, so Mousesports took away Inferno. Makes sense within the context of this tournament. NiP have been letting Inferno through. They've gone back to Inferno as they've moved away from Dust 2. Been very good for them. They've won it every time they've played it. NiP take away Cobblestone. I think that makes sense as well. Mousesports had some good results on that here. Taking away Overpass, that's fairly standard. Now, Ninjas in Pyjamas taking away Cash. That's the surprise, because as much as Mousesports want to play it, NiP have always maintained they're a good Cash team. They've always talked about how good they are on it. They've never shied away from any of the top teams on Cash when it comes to playing that map. So that, for a change, that's NiP respecting the opposition. Usually what they do is they pick into the opposition's strongest maps. They just don't care. And they've removed Cash from Mousesports. So that's very interesting. That then frees up Train for Mousesports, which I thought we'd see in the series. Mousesports, you know, beating people on it right now, beat Virtus Pro.
Yep,
And then, of course, you've got Dust 2 for Ninjas in Pyjamas, which, as Duncan rightly said, this is a surprise because they've been moving away from that. Now, and they've changed tactics, moved positions around. I don't know if they've gone back to the original lineup where Arlu was holding short, which was really working, but they changed it and had Get Right holding short, and it wasn't as effective. And then Mirage is a decider, which really could go either way for these teams. So this is a great series. This is a real tantalizing series here.
Okay.
The thing is, though, I'm actually shocked at one of the Mousesports bans, which is that they banned Overpass. Because I'm pretty sure if they didn't ban Overpass, NiP would have definitely banned it as their last ban. So I think they could have gotten one up, and then that would have allowed them to pick something like Cash directly, and then to have something else like Train as the third map, the decider. So I actually feel like Mouse have maybe missed a little step there. But saying that, it is strange to think that the first 2 maps will be Dust 2, which Mouse want to play. That's NiP's pick. And then Train, which even though NiP had that one good map against Fnatic, I can't imagine they really want to play Train. And Train was the map that we saw yesterday. Mouse had some incredible terrorist tactics against Virtus Pro there. And
Gobby's done a masterclass on that map.
I actually worry here. I feel like the first 2 maps here give Mouse a chance to make this an upset, whereas I was pretty sure I'm going to pick NiP to win this series. I think they're the better team, but I think they've got a chance now. They should be more even because of the first 2 maps.
Yeah, especially if they're still confident about that Virtus Pro Train match, you know, because that's a good start if they can win that first one. So, quick predictions.
The problem is with those maps, I was going to probably go NiP 2-0, but I'm going to go... Let me think. The problem, here's my problem, okay? On yesterday's form, I would actually predict Mousesports would win it. But I don't usually like to go with like, oh, well, if they did that yesterday, they'll definitely do that today. So the problem is thinking more long-term, I'll go NiP 2-1, and I'll say that Mouse will get Train. But if they'd played how they did yesterday, I think they could actually win this series. But it's just always hard to know that you can replicate that. Yeah. That might just be one great day, you know.
Agreed.
Literally same for me. Okay. I think Mousesports will take Train, even though it'll be close, and then NiP will run away with it 2-1.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, it is time to start our first semifinals here at Gfinity's Arena. And bringing you the action, the Face It guys from just down the street, also here in London, England, James and DDK. Take it away, guys.
Good afternoon and welcome to the final day here at the Gfinity Summer Masters. It's myself and DDK, of course. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm good.
That's great. And you're supposed to ask me how I am, but I'm fine, Dan. Okay, so we're going to have NiP versus Mousesports. Who do you fancy for this one?
This is a really difficult call to make, actually, because I kind of want to say Mousesports, but the thing is with NiP is that they're very good at peaking at the right times in tournaments, and their kind of style that they bring to the table is not something that you can easily prepare for as the opposition of NiP. You can't just be like, well, we will try to... how do they actually do it? It's just individual skill. A lot of the time is they find, I mean, the term NiP magic, for example, is when they really get going towards the latter stages of a tournament and they pull out individual performances in spots where you're like, you shouldn't win this situation, but somehow they find a way to just get out of these crazy spots. So even though I feel like, okay, Mousesports, I feel like they're doing quite well right now. They're playing really good Counter-Strike. I think the maps look quite decent for them as well. They definitely have a good chance here. I actually should say, I'm going to say NiP, actually, I think NiP will take it. But I think it's going to be very, very close, and I think it will go to Mirage.
Okay.
And what about you?
Personally, I guess I would lean towards NiP as well. I think this will be as it should be, since it's a finals day. Basically, it should be the biggest challenge for the teams who have caused the upsets so far. But again, Mousesports, you know, we'll find out whether or not they're being slept on at the moment by the end of today. Basically, so we're gonna find out exactly how much damage they can do. But I look forward to seeing. I think all maps will be very competitive in both sides. So I feel like NiP should take it, but I don't think I would be massively upset if Mousesports came out on top again. You can see the.
It is an impossible match to predict. I think it's actually so hard to tell how this is going to go, especially due to the maps. I feel like the only map that I'd be even able to really make a prediction on is maybe Mirage or something, based on what I've seen. Because Train and Dust 2, there's been like a lot of variance in those 2 maps. Dust 2 is a map where they're just usually that's kind of like the upset map. Anyone can play it, everyone knows how to play it. And well, Train, it's NiP have been trying to force their individual style on here. They haven't been super execute heavy in the past. Now we'll have to see what they're going to bring to the table against Mousesports here today.
What's interesting actually with regards to NiP and Train is NiP are a team who vetoed. Well, they picked Train in almost every Face It match they had against the top teams.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Then coming into Gfinity, they vetoed Train, I think, in their first match, but they've let it come through on this occasion, and it will be the first map picked by Mousesports. Train, on the subject of variance, is a map where, again, we saw it with Virtus Pro versus Mousesports. There was a lot of individual performances within one round where one player would pick up 2 or 3 kills in a row in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds, which you know, can cause a lot of variance round by round. So we'll have to see if that's going to continue to be the case here. But first, I think it'll be Mousesports starting. Oh, Alu though. He won't be able to make it out, so Mousesports will have the option to choose from. I'm
super curious how this is going to go actually, because Mousesports they've been showing quite a lot of their coordination on the T side has actually been really good. So NiP, you know, it's something that's been well, we've seen them struggle with in many of the online matches when they've been playing Train as well. Is that on their CT sides, if there's a very coordinated team, they can often, their economy can often get a little. They can lose like too many people. Like some of their defenses can be a little bit iffy here and there. So. And the other thing with NiP is that they have the reputation to be a team that's kind of slow to kind of warm up as well. We're going to be jumping into the pistol, and let's see how warm they are starting here today.
All right, so Mousesports chose to switch to the CT side after winning the knife round, and their layout's going to be too deep towards B. Maybe that is a reaction to their slugfest versus Virtus Pro yesterday, with 3 close to the back of the site around the bomb train here on A. Keeping an eye on Ali. There is a 1 lurker in Ali, which of course will be get right. Passive start here from NiP. Got a double stack in team main with Exist ready for the trade frag should it be necessary. Godby's going to go for the information and he's going to get absolutely wrecked. That's vision of the bomb, so NiP will start to move straight away into the site.
That was a really nice stack there, and they will make their way through onto that bomb site. Nexus there, challenged from 2 angles at once. Trying to get it done right now as Alu goes forward, and NiP moving as a unit straight into that bomb site. Over the train goes Alu for the frags. Forest and Alu going to pick up 2 each, so they're going to take control of that bomb train. They're going to be looking to plant that bomb safely now as they have that 3 versus 1, and that is going to be it. Exist with a double right at the end, and NiP will win the pistol round on the train. So opening things up well, and again, if they are a slow to start team, NiP with a really good start on the less favorable side, this actually looks like a really nice way for them to start this match today.
All the players who were alive at NiP took some damage, so they're probably going to have to spend the 4,000 to upgrade their armor with helmets. Double scouts coming out from Mousesports. Chris J and Dennis will be rocking scopes. Next, and Speedy and Godby will have the 5.7s. So Dennis will be the first to fall there for his team, although Forrest has been taken down for NiP. Alu is being heavily tagged at the moment. Speedy's going to find himself a place to angle, and he might stop the plant from coming in now. Freiberg, though, will eventually find himself the kill, and the plant will come through. But look at the health on the remaining players here. We should see Mousesports push. They've got an AK and a scout. There's the first one to go down. Freiberg only had about 23 HP. Exist, Get Right, and Alu all within spraying distance now. Next coming in to do what he can do.
Yeah, this guy is actually working away at them quite well so far. So 2-on-2 again. There is a kit on Chris J, so they could actually pull this one off. Alu lurking with that MP7 up above. Could cause some issues. He's going to go for the peak now as the defuse starts to come in on Chris J. So there it is. Oh, nice shot there from Nex. He's going to take him down. Get Right goes for the trades, though. He's going to stop the defuse and get both frags. Get Right will save the round, but significant damage has been done by Mousesports, so I think they're pretty happy with that one.
Actually, I believe NiP lost an AK in that as well. You Get Right, he was moving away after finding the kill. And I think he realized, oh crap, wait, there's a gun to find. Went back for it, but it was too late. So NiP gonna have to spend a lot of money here on the 3rd round, but you know they still have Mousesports on the 0, which is what will count be the most important point for now.
Oh wow, nice opener from Freiberg. Now usually anti-EK goes slow. You know, you try to like just be very safe, play the team play situations to trade, but no, Freiberg's just gonna go out there, get this really fast entry on the timing, and NiP slowly working their way into yard, which is actually a really nice potential for engagements. Ooh, nice shot as well from Exist. So easy clean up there from NiP.
The good thing about that peak from Freiberg as well was that's a peak from team main looking to connector. That's a peak where the CTs always get to connector first with reasonable spawns. But obviously he's going to know that worst case scenario, they're going to have a P250 there in that round. So he can just peek it anyway and find the kills. Freiberg getting 4 of the 5 players in that round. Now the buy is going to come out for Mousesports. Chris J continuing with the scout for now.
Yeah, it's going to be all the guns here for Mousesports. They really need to get themselves back into this one straight away. And see how they manage to do this one. They got a good setup going. The four in the yard for an A, and 1 on the inner train site B, as you can see, Spiddy there. Just right at the back, playing it very, very defensively. He can let them take let the T's take the bomb site, and he can play the really fast retake. That's as long as you keep hold of connector as the TTs, you're actually fine for those retakes. They can be quite favourable, in fact. So we'll have to see if NiP decide to actually go for the inner push. They're looking like they're set up on secret at the moment, and you can see a small response here from Mousesports, just putting Dennis into the B bomb site as well. So they have 2 players ready to receive this push. NiP going to go for it now.
Yeah, and they still have, NiP still have 2 smokes out, so they've been trying to bait what they can from Mousesports' side. Exist going to find himself the first frag onto the B bomb site, and the second one. So that's going to be the 2 people in B completely lost here, forced the remaining CTs to rotate, but with no frags yet and no possession of any real estate towards B. Look at the mini-map, you can see NiP have both ends of the B bomb site. Mousesports have little choice but to go for the eco here. And Next may not even be able to make an escape, but from that angle he can maybe hold down some of the NiP players from hunting his other 2 comrades.
This is so important for NiP to get these frags. If they save all 3 weapons, now of course they won't save all 3, but if they could have done that, then they can actually put in a buy in the next round, just go for it. But there we go, Freiberg's going to take down an extra player. Can they get all 3? Godby going to take down the last 2 there, who are attacking into them. So they won't be able to go for any kind of a proper buy, so just going to have to go for the full save instead.
Alu could actually, he had the UMP in the last round, but there's still no need to buy up to the AWP as, of course, the CTs will be on the eco now. So in fact, it's a good chance for him to just make some more money. Again, $600 per kill with that UMP. He's looking to make it rain. But Godby, though, is going to be a problem with that M4. He is large and in charge on top of the trains at the moment, but not for long. Freiberg getting another entry onto A.
Yeah, nice anti-eco again from NiP, just playing the Rangers, playing together outside. And so far, so good. Although Dennis does have a couple of shots to say about Ali right there. But again, trades, upon trades. And just Spitty left alive. And NiP looking to start this half off pretty strong, but next round, we will see if Mousesports actually want to go for an AWP because of the round loss bonus and the fact that it's going to be their second attempt at a buy. They have all the freedom as to their weapon selection. And against NiP, I think the AWP can work quite well. Spitty does some extra damage as well. Yeah, the AWP should work pretty well as NiP, they like to take the open aim battles where they can. They like to play the picks on their T side, so the AWP can be a good option.
So get right, Freiberg on 8 kills so far. A player who's come under some scrutiny from the HLTV boys recently. So he'll be hoping to show up well today. And he's doing well so far. Now AWP finally going to come out to Alu after having some fun with the UMP. The smoke going down towards the connector area there. Again, so NiP, they've just thrown some smokes out here and there. They're trying to bait the nades out from the CT side as they are very passively now emerging towards the A site. Freiberg going to be the one charging into the site, a la Olafmeister on Fnatic. We've seen him just walk into A main and cause massive problems here.
This.
Trolling coming in as well, just like Snacks does for Versus Pro.
And they actually go for the fake. They show the execute at first, and it's a fake. That is such a strong way to do it. This is the classic way to play it in 1.6 as well. But they're taking a long time here, James. Now they're giving Mousesports so much time to just say, oh, well, you're faking. We're going to flank you, and we're going to rotate everybody to B. This could be a disaster here for NiP.
Yeah, and on the subject of stats and entries and so on, you can see there, on paper, that's going to be a failed entry for Freiberg, but it has a greater purpose than finding necessarily the frags there, just running distraction. But again, NiP unable to execute towards the B bomb site there, losing a second player now. Maybe the Molotov that was on B slope slowed them down completely, but they seem to have just changed their minds. Forrest finding a frag onto Spitty, he was looking for information. Spitty should see the bomb in that situation, however. 25 seconds left, and Mousesports should have a strong hold here.
Yeah, they need NiP need a very, very dramatic save. Getro's looking to deliver that. He's in a very forward position. He could definitely make the difference here. Gets the first kill. Exist picks up the one on to Chris J as well. Oh, this could go the way of NiP all of a sudden. The bomb is going to find its way onto that bomb site A outside, and it's going to be Exist. Oh, the no-scope going to land on the legs of Godby as Get right now knows exactly where they are, but he is alone as Forrest goes for that refrag. And will they spot Get right? He's got a very good position up here. Dennis with a cursory glance there, and they will be spotted. And the trade will come in from Dennis. So well played to Mousesports to save that round in the end, but that should have been a much cleaner one. I mean, but that's the thing with NiP. They can always just somehow just make the frags happen. Yeah,
that was actually really unlucky for Exist, unable to get the frag there, only hitting the legs. And again, that enabled Godby to pick up the AWP, which gives him the frag when NiP feel forced to peek the Pop Dog area. So again, that could have gone either way, but Mousesports will manage to hold on and find their first round on the board here. It was an expensive one for them, but bonus is they will be saving NAWP going into this one by coming out once again for NiP. See a bit of limitation on the nades here, so no team's economy secured just yet. chrisJ getting the first frag onto exist there.
Ali push comes in, but it gets completely shut down by chrisJ. It's just Garo who's left alive, and he's got multiple players to handle, and he's not going to be able to pull it off this time around. The important thing, I think, for NiP so far is that in the first buy round, they showed the classic Wall of Smokes A execute, but they showed it as a fake. So basically, that always suggests now that whenever they're going to do that, their Mousesports have to they have to wait and confirm. Is it going to actually be a push, or are they trying to fake us again? Because you can never really know, and that's how it always went down in 1.6 as well.
Third buy coming out for NiP now. Orp once again, Freiburg down to the Galil. And I don't know, with him on the entry, I don't know if I'd swap him out for an AK on one of the other players, which may be playing a more passive role here, but we'll see what NiP are able to do with it. Freiburg just pursuing people, causing some havoc where he can. Although, looks like Ali might be trying to find an entry off his own as well. Exist there deep towards the entrance to B, looking to catch a CT unawares. We'll see who will find the frag first. Good nades on both teams, so an execute can happen here, as well as the counter flashes and nades from the CT side.
Yeah, classic NiP here, just getting close as they can to picking opportunities. Get right in a very forward position once again, might be unexpected to be here, but chrisJ actually pre-fires that spot. I'm not sure if he somehow had a read on that, but he manages to pull it out there, and it's going to be now NiP moving in down towards B to try to cause a distraction. The bomb is actually still towards Pop Dog, so will Mousesports rotate everyone? They've got 4 players on the B side at the moment. This distraction is working wonders, but the bomb is actually going back towards inner, so they weren't going to go for that fake after all, and all the attention is from Mousesports onto that B-bomb site, and so far they are really close. They're even denying the plant from going down, and now NiP have to quickly switch things back to A, but I think Mousesports are going to figure this one out.
Yeah, but
can they stop it?
NiP have got the smoke down into the connected area, though. They have to worry about this long channel. Alu's holding the angle there, taking down Dennis. There's another one to find. 5 seconds left. The bomb does go down. They might not be aware that there is a player by the alley who passed Alu as he took down the other player, but Alu's found himself the angle. But it's going to be a matter of who walks into whose crosshair first now, as they're dancing around. Ali finding another frag there, just left down to next, but he can't get the job done on this occasion. And Mousesports, after getting 2 rounds in, will lose the 3rd round there in that small trio. Pensive look on the Mousesports side at the moment.
Yeah, another round where Mousesports, they were like, okay, we were ahead, and again, we gave away our lead. We gave away the round even. Previously, they were able to save a round in a situation like that when it was starting off very well for them, and now they're in an eco situation. So things not working well for Mousesports on their CT sides here so far. NiP's individual skill, their awesome team play in the later stages of the round is just really just crushing Mousesports. And once again, we see this anti-eco working its way onto the outside, and Exist is holding down Pop Dog, so he should be able to deliver a good defense to the flank that is potentially coming in from Mousesports. They're also looking to move into team main, but Freiburg got that angle as well. So NiP look very good to clean this one up flawlessly. And here is the first player, Dennis. Oh wow, he actually finds the insta-dink there onto Freiburg. He's going to go down, but I think NiP are too worried here.
Yeah, they will maybe use a player to make sure that Dennis cannot pick up that rifle. For 2 reasons. A, 1, to save it for the Mousesports side in the next round, and B, to try and take down more NiP players again. Their economy is less than perfect, less than stellar. He's just taking a big tag. He's got to run for his life now. And Dennis is going to pop out. The players running with their knives. Rifle or no rifle, he's done a lot of damage here. And he can take down the AK as well. This is colossal damage. I'm not sure if he picked up the AWP. Indeed, he did pick up the AWP as well. So
that's amazing.
Dennis with a nice bonus for the team there. And again, look at the economy of the NiP side. It'll be back on your screens in a second, and you can see that after their buy, they are going to be down to just a few $100.
Yeah, that was a massive value play there from Dennis, and he could just have gotten Mousesports back into the game. They just have to win the rounds now, and they'll force NiP to the eco, can build their bank as well. But first things first, we've got a couple players from NiP towards Ali. Now, Chris's got to be careful. He spots the orb. Oh, he's going to survive. So, better not press his luck, but he's going to get caught in the other angle from Team Main there. Or from Popdog. All over the place are NiP. They're just taking them down. And Nex is on the site. He's got to deliver multiple kills here to stop this push from NiP.
Dennis coming in for support here, finding a frag onto Freiberg and Forest as well. Only Ali remains here, but we know how dangerous this man is. We've seen multiple aces from him already. 2 more to find, but so many angles to check here on Train. And both the CTs are pretty much in the same area. He's going to spot a bit of a jump there, but Dennis will be fast enough to take down Ali before the scope can come out. So Mousesports get the round, and let's have a look at the NiP economy following that. They are going to be basically having to go for the eco here.
Yeah, really well done again from Dennis in the previous round. He saved the AWP and killed about 4 players or something, even though they lost the round. And that AWP, of course, came in handy there. We saw that it was very key in holding down the A-bomb site after the 2 entries were taken by NiP. And now we've got a bit of a force up here from NiP. They're just going to see what they can get done with the pistols, the armor, Tech 9 armor, and Galilon and Get Right as well. So they do have something to work with here. Now, Spitty is just going to fall back and play it safe. He wants to survive and just keep his team, keep Connector safe, keep the avenue of approach for the CT rotation open.
Right, so NiP get the bomb down. That is a huge bonus for them. Only 2 remaining. No CTs down just yet. And again, the economy is still precious for both sides, so any damage they can do will be fab. Forrest going to get a CZ kill. He should have time to reload his gun, but no time to get to the rifle itself. Got to be taking down the last player. So only losing 1 player for Mousesports. That's very much a fine trade. But again, NiP will have that bonus cash from the plant, which may allow them to go for the buy sooner rather than later. Although their money for now is still going to be crap. They are 3 rounds ahead, however. So, but again, this is allowing Mousesports now to get back into the game. They should just have a 2-round gap taking this round unless something terrible happens. But NiP with 5 smokes, and they've got a bunch of P250s as well. 1 flashbang. Looks like it's going to be the A execute this time with the bomb coming in via Popdog. Although, if the bomb gets taken down, there is no support at the moment.
Yeah, Mousesports playing close to the choke points here. There's always a little bit of risk, but against the pistols, they should be okay. Now, Gobby has to switch to the USP, and he's actually still alive here. The bomb plant going to go in for Exist. He knows that was his one job, and he's going to pull it off as well. So NiP will have their economy bolstered ever so slightly, $800 extra for all the players of NiP. And the thing for NiP in this situation is that they already have 7 rounds on the board. For NiP, it's when their T-sides... I mean, it's always been about their T-sides in this tournament kind of being lackluster. So, you know, we never questioned their ability to take a lot of rounds on the CT. So they must be feeling really good about this. And, well, if they can actually keep... if they can lock Mousesports out here and keep them on 5 rounds towards the end of the first half, that's going to be horrendous for Mousesports. They need to pick this one up right now, and we're going to get the opening pick battles coming in. Alu on the AWP. Oh, missed the shot, and that could be... that's a blessing for Mousesports.
Well, Alu has trying to hide behind the wood there. He will not be able to hide for long enough with that flash coming in, but insta trade there from Forest. So advantage NiP. 2 men down now for Mousesports. Forest very competent with the AWP as well. Will pick it up. Doesn't find the snap, however. Meanwhile, Dennis elsewhere will take down Freiberg. Exist going down. So it's ending up in a 2 versus 2 with Get Right gonna kill next. NiP have left the bomb in T main for now, although Forest is close. Get Right's gonna go down, so it's gonna be down to Forest to clutch here. And he's either going to have to go for the 2 kills, or maybe find one, go and retrieve the bomb, and then find the other. What I was going to say about the pistol, I mean the other eco round is, they focused on getting the bomb down, they bought the smokes to do it, which gave them an average of about $5,900 in that round, whereas a lot of teams at the moment, in a round like that, just going to go for pistols there and get annihilated. So...
It's pretty cool of Forrest there. He's trying to fake them out a little bit. He went back into team main, and they actually knew about that. So he's playing the 50-50, going through Ali, which is, of course, going to allow him to just go around the back and have better angles into this one. If he wants to go down B, then that's going to be spotted very easily. And there it is. There's the first spot. Oh, but he's just surviving Dennis. Oh, he played it perfectly there. Just held. Went for the peek when he knew Forrest had to make a decision. And Forrest's his little trickery there will not yield any rewards for NiP.
Another round in the bag for Mousesports. 6-7 now. Things are looking a bit nasty for them, but they are certainly catching up, and we know that they are capable of the clutch in mid-round situations, chopping down 2-3 players here on their T side. So things could be tricky for NiP in the second half. But seven rounds on the board so far. Nothing too bad, but back on the force by our NiP. Been a number of difficult rounds recently, which is allowing Mousesports to catch up. First frag though, going away of Forest.
Going in fast right now, but Dennis will defend. We have a trio of Mousesports players here behind the A bomb train, and it's going to be Freiburg with the double on the Tech 9 that's going to open the round up completely. It's Forest who is left over for NiP to finish things off, but Spitty, full health and AK-47, a kit. He's got all the tools to work with, and there's the one-on-one. Forest gets the drop on him, and he will get the kill. Spitty goes down, and it's going to be another round there for NiP, finally picking another one up, and that, of course, is going to bring them to 8 rounds on their T half of train.
9-6 would be juicy here for NiP. We'll see if they can pull it off, or if Mousesports can keep the gap down to a minimum and take it to 7-8. Lots of Molotovs and full defuse kits coming out for the CT side again the last round, so they will all be upgrading their pistols as well, save for Godby, who is a bit limited on the cash. You can see the lack of the nades there. Chris J and Dennis getting 2 very quick frags indeed for the CT side. That's going to move the rest of the CTs towards B into more passive positions here as they play on that significant 2-man advantage. They'll get a bit more aggressive as NiP suggests they're going to push the B bomb site. Indeed, they're coming through that smoke that they put down themselves. Trade's coming in now, but 2 versus 4. NiP needs to find 2 more frags. Get right, going to get caught jumping around. Down to Forest there. Dennis pretty on point at the moment, and Mousesports will take it to 7-8.
Yeah, it's looking better there for Mousesports. We can see they took quite a few rounds in a row there, 4 in a row towards the latter stages, but still it's a very rough result, and early on in the CT sides they had a lot of opportunity to actually make more things happen. It was NiP just coming in with ridiculous saves. We saw that fake attempt from them basically blew up in their face. Mousesports got on top of it, but then somehow gave away the rounds anyway. So they're definitely going to be a little bit gutted with a 7-8, but we'll have to see if they can have a good T-side. They've been having good T-sides all tournament, and NiP, we know they're very strong on CT, so there's everything to play for here. And we see the classic Julies from Get Right, the Julies in the smoke.
Okay, so Mousesports on their CT side, they had 1 close to upper B, 1 close to lower. Get Right's going to be playing close lower with another one playing close to connector. Get Right can't get the Julies back out in time after throwing the smoke grenade, so going to be an early advantage to Mousesports. So Alu getting a kill through the smoke. You can see the T's actually pushing up all the way towards the CT spawn area, connector area. Very aggressive indeed, kind of reminiscent of Mirage when they push CT, but who's going to get the winning? It's going to be NiP, in fact.
Yeah, Fry with a quick triple right at the end will save the day for the Swedes and get the defuse, and that is very gutting for Mousesports. So they got the bomb down, so there are actually options here for them to actually go for a force up. I think on train it's not. I mean, you'd have to get the wall of smokes out there. You need the guaranteed second bomb plant because it can be really hard against the ranges that will be played from with NiP's arsenal that they have at their disposal here with the FAMASs, the M4s. So, and they are actually going to go for the full force off the bomb plant with all the nades, so they actually will go for that execute. I actually kind of like this, but we'll have to see if it works out for them as they go in through Team main. Alu takes down the first player, Chris J, before he could even really throw any grenades, and that's going to be devastating there for Mousesports. Next trying to get himself through the smoke here. Get Right goes down close range to Dennis, and we have Mousesports players all over the bomb site now, picking up frags left, right, and center. NiP in a lot of trouble. Another one there from next. Freiburg goes close to the spray down. He will not make it happen. And the force up, the surprise buy from Mousesports is going to do it. And they're going to swing straight back into this one. And that's going to be really tough for NiP on the money.
It's interesting that Get Right was pushing ladder when Mousesports were pretty much always going to have Tech 9s in that situation. So he loses the advantage of his rifle. I guess maybe they had a read on what Mousesports might have been doing, going for a quick flank. But again, on a map like Train, he's playing into the advantages of the Mousesports sides if they are not taken by surprise there. NiP getting quickly upset in the second round. And again, that was an interesting opposite to the round prior where the T side won the pistol and they're going for the duel with the guns towards connector, whereas this time it's Alu in connector. He's got the rifle, he gets the duel. But NiP don't have the guns now. Going to have a force of their own. Freiburg going for the scout here. 2 CZs, 5.7 and a P250. Alu and Freiburg. Sans armor. No diffuse kits either. We'll see what they can do. Now Mousesports taking it a lot slower as they're the ones with the significant advantage. Not going to see any crazy pushes from them. Next holding Ali from maximum range there.
Oh, Forrest not on the best angle there with the CZ. We'll go down to Chris J. And Freiburg takes down Chris J there, who had been tagged up by the CZ of Forest, so able to get that refrag, but it's just too exposed, and he will get taken down by Nex. Exist coming into CZ. There's the first kill. Exist running out of bullets though, and Nex will take him down. So some light damage being done here so far by NiP. There's another frag. That is starting to look much better now. But there's no kit and there's no armor on Alu. So it should be pretty impossible here. There's a frag from Nex. He's going to get both kills, and 3 kills from NiP at least to just keep the economic damage on. But they're going to have to go for a full eco here. So Mousesports are going to get a lot of money in the bank in this following rounds. And it all could come down to maybe NiP thinking that after the pistol round, after the bomb plant, that hey, we think that Mousesports are just going to go for the full Glock eco, but they were mistaken, sorely mistaken, if that's what they thought.
Dennis and Freiburg top fragging for their teams. And NiP won't have the buyout just yet, going to go for the eco and bring out the big guns, the AWP, etc. a bit later on, and they're going to do a lot of damage as well. Should be a formality round here for Mousesports. They've lost a player already, however. But there are only 3 NiP players left, and I don't think they're going to make it to a rifle anytime soon. Flame frags coming in as well. Bodies falling from the sky, it seems. It's just Freiburg to see if he can steal a weapon, if he can steal a life. Here comes Chris J, but going around the other angle. Freiburg just going to dance around and see what if he can grab something. UMP comes in as he dinks Speedy. Can he upgrade? Well, that'll be that for him. That aim punch will stop him from finding a 3rd frag onto God B there. 10-9 in favour of Mousesports. Buy coming out for NiP, and of course, that double eco will allow Alu to pick up the big green gun.
Yeah, NiP did well though. They got 3 frags on the force up, then 2 frags in the previous eco rounds. So they've actually done some decent economic damage in both rounds. That's something to be happy with. Keeping Mousesports as close to an eco as they possibly can. But they must win this round. The buy round comes in, and Dennis is already looking for those long-range picks. Oh, the flick not going to connect now. Dennis in trouble. He's stuck in the corner. Needs some help out of that position. And he's going to get the crazy frag there onto Exist. And he's going to keep himself alive as well. So that's a really good result there for Mousesports. Very tricky, sticky situation. But they're going to keep pressing on into the bomb site here. They don't want to let up on the pressure. But NiP, Forest, is dealing with this marvelously. Gets 2 quick kills. And Spitty knows he's got to do something there. Opens up Ali. Frags all over the yard at the moment as Mousesports vie for control. And they take an advantage on the men.
Yeah, we're getting into the crazy part of the round here where one individual play could just spin around. Ali's going to have this scope in just at the wrong time. Spitty walking through the smoke just after the smoke comes through. The scope comes through. So Alu, he could have got knifed there in fact, but they'll go for the safe play. Get right, the lurker for the team will be unidentified in his position. Mousesports playing close to each other so they can trade, but that means on a map like Train that they could get sprayed down as well if Get Right can find themselves the right angle, and there's one. I'm not sure if we saw the second player there. Smoke coming out as well will suggest that there was more than one in that region. But the other one, Chris J, will be unidentified until it's all too late, taking down Get Right as he looks away. So many angles to cover here, and they'll go in favour of Mousesports for now.
Yeah, Mousesports winning that force up after the, or the surprise buy after the pistol round really gave them a good boost of momentum into the second half. That's exactly what they needed after a really shaky CT side, and they're starting to find their form. They're starting to really just hit their stride as they force another eco out of NiP. This is really, really tough for NiP so far. Always playing without money, and want to see if they can get a lot of damage here. Again, that's all they can really hope and expect to do, and they're just playing a pretty normal setup at the moment on the outside and seeing if they can get some quick frags. And they're going to have to play it patiently though, because Mousesports are really just looking for a methodical and very slow pace to their slow take of the map.
You can see the flank starting to come in from Freiburg, and his lack of seeing anyone in the alley area will mean Forest rotates over to bolster the B site hold as well. So you can see the lines coming in there on the B site from NiP across the site, just changing formation now. But it seems the bomb is headed towards Pop Dog as that smoke will fake towards B. So Freiburg going to go down on the A site, which means that after the 3-man rotate into B from NiP, Mousesports will exploit that to their advantage, but there's only a slow emergence there. The bomb's still staying tentatively close to the Pop Dog area. Almost 2 men for Alu. He's waiting for the other one. Almost finds Nex, but can't get the damage in there. Nex surviving with most of his life intact. 20 seconds though for Mousesports to get the bomb planted, and it's still just sitting around in the Pop Dog area. If it goes down here, if Exist can find the flank before it gets planted. 13 seconds left now. Oh, the knife almost coming in, and the rest of the NiP team will get cleaned up fairly promptly. You can see they're quite enjoying that.
That grin.
So they weren't scared at all about the bomb going down. Because if he finds a frag onto the bomb planter there, they must have known that Exist was there before he went down the ladder for a knife attempt to come in. Otherwise, that could have just gone completely horribly there for Mousesports.
Yeah, they probably had a really good read onto by the process of elimination where the last player could be. Double up here, Forest and Ali on the CT side for NiP. Looking to mix it up and find their way back into the match, but Nex is fast on the trains, trying to get himself over and into the yard, behind the cover of smoke. And he is just going to wait for the time being. Now he's got that forward position. Oh, and who gets the shot onto Godbeat. And, oh, that's the return from Nex. Just a little bit of a boost there on the side of the train. That's going to work wonders for him to get the trade onto Alu. But still, NiP going to be holding it down outside. And the bomb is moving back towards the White Halls and back towards Secret. So looking for that play in to be at the moment. But NiP, they look all over this. They look really comfortable here.
Yeah, they've got the counter flashes, the counter Molotovs coming in, everything. Counter all the things here. Get right, gonna peek for the information. Get right, gonna be punished. Can Existo cut down these numbers? Indeed he can. There's two for him, trying to find the third one, and he's gonna run out of bullets just before he can finish the spray down onto Spiddy. So Spiddy, with enough time to plant the bomb here and try and mount some kind of defense. And the best defense in this situation will be offense. Forest and Freiberg coming in. That will be a quick frag there for Forest. So round 22 goes the way of NiP, finally getting another round on the board. Only surviving with 2 players, however. So we'll see what the money's like afterwards. They'll pick up the second orb. And Mousesports, they might end up with a better buy. You can see a number of their players with $9,000, although a few players do need drops. So starting to get ropey here on the T side.
Yeah, I think this could be a really nice spot for Mousesports to really mix things up and go for maybe a very fast execute with smokes, and of course having the double AWP being on NiP and then playing that style should encourage a smoke execute, as it's very hard to even do anything with the AWPs when all the smokes are down for those 17 seconds. So Mousesports, what are they going to go for here? Looks like they're kicking things off slowly to begin with, and we don't see anybody in position right now just to go for any smoke executes, so they're just keeping it chill to begin with and waiting to see if NiP do anything themselves, but they are going to hold it back right now. Look how far back they are on the A side. They've got those AWPs, they want to play the ranges.
Indeed, so not going to have any insane pushes this time. 3 AWPs on the map. Chris J upgrading the scout we saw earlier. So passive play for both sides at the moment. Bomb is down, and it is not on show to NiP, so they'll have to hold formation, and with no pushes they'll have to just wait for some clues from Mousesports, some indications as to which site they might choose to commit to. And there's still under a minute here for Mousesports to play with. There's still some time for them to juke and jive.
And we have now Mousesports with 35 seconds, so they've got to make a move, get a move on here. Looking to move outside out of Pop Dog and T-Main, which is really nice because you can get all 5 players out in yard all together very quickly for trades, but Ali's going to start thinning them out, so will Forest, both taking a frag, and now we have finally a return from Chris J, but 18 seconds left to get the bomb planted, and NiP so far are causing all kinds of issues here. Forest still alive, can't get it done though. Next will take the kill, but Freiberg gets the trade. The bomb will finally be planted in the nick of time with just 8 seconds remaining. Chris J with a nice trade, but that is not going to happen here. NiP way too efficient on the trades.
Yeah, that last 10 seconds, Get Right was slowly flanking around. Chris J was waiting for it, looking for it, but just when it came, the distraction was there from the other NiP players, and they'll take it, surviving again with 2 players, again with the 2 AWPs, more importantly. And Mousesports could get a force out here. Indeed, they're gonna leave some money behind and just go for the Tech 9s here. They could get a few AKs and Galils out, but they're going to opt for the nades here, which should ensure them the plant. And again, last time they did this, they actually had success and won the round against the buy of NiP. That wasn't against 2 AWPs, however, but with all the smokes they have, maybe they can get it done again.
There we go, Forest kicks things off with a quick kill. Trying to eliminate these Tech 9s before they get into close ranges where they're really deadly. And now he's just looking over the top of the smokes here. So Mousesports trying to circumvent all these AWPs with those smokes, but these are some nice vantage points that Forest has been finding, and they are slowing it down actually before moving in. Now they're starting to go for it again, but GetRight comes in with the flank. He's going to go for the spread out, gets himself a frag onto God B, and NiP once again holding things off really well. Chris J will take a quick extra consolation kill, but 12-12 is now the score as NiP are really getting the momentum right back into this one.
Indeed, it is swinging back into their favour, and Mousesports have the option to buy here, but they're going to be Sans AWP. Chris J not buying yet, but he's $50 short of the AWP, so he can't even go just in his boxer shorts. They're going to have to opt for the AK and the nades instead. So Mousesports with 5 AKs may have no answer to these big green guns in this round, although NiP actually have only opted for 1 in this situation, so that may be something in favour of Mousesports. They have the advantage over the M4s in terms of damage, but not in terms of stealth.
Yeah, so again, slow, methodical round. GetRight's often the secret kind of inner player for NiP. Very experienced in all incarnations of this game and map. And Mousesports waiting to see if they can find or catch NiP out on a quick aggression and punish an overcommitment. But we have GetRight who will start to spot players there. Oh, they're going to line up for him, but he can't get 2. It's going to be Dennis with the instant trade. And now that's going to cause Mousesports actually to actually hold on. To just hold on to their positions, play it slow. And look at the chaos here from NiP. They quickly rotate 2 players immediately. But Mousesports know that they have time.
Indeed, they're waiting. You see that the bomb initially moved to a more passive position, maybe expecting the rotate from NiP. The rotate did come in, and now just waiting to see if it's going to go all the way to playing the information. Mouse going for the push to B now, although they know that it's going to be a bit dangerous for them to cross that path. However, Alu has his angle, so even if they push through the smoke, Alu will find himself 2 frags. Dennis versus 3, going for the desperation plant. He will find it. Worst case scenario ticked off for his team now. Now it's a question of can he clutch or do as much damage as possible. No more damage will be done for us finding the frag onto Dennis there, picking up some bit of bounty, some AKs and so on, and NiP will take the lead once more.
Yep, it's going to be a nice situation to actually get the bomb down in that kind of a desperate spot, because extra $800 is going to be really handy, especially I think as it was the 4th round that they lost. It was $2,900 plus the 800 for the bomb plant there, so they're going to be well into a decent buy. And you can see the AKs, not all the nades, but enough to work with. Definitely better than the alternative of no bomb down. But what Mousesports going to find here, because so far these super slow rounds haven't been working for them.
And now GetRight's gone for a more aggressive peek with a nice smoke. So it's going to be risky for Mouse to try and pass that. They could go for a spray through it, but they may not find anything. GetRight's chosen to go passive once again, but they know GetRight's playing B, so they will be paranoid as to where he might be. Chris J, they're going to find him fairly quickly, and now it's going to be down to Alu to try and string a number of kills together should Mousesports push the B bomb site. Mouse with a bunch of nades and flashes, so he could go for the connector smoke near where Alu is standing. But again, Alu's position last round circumvented their push through the smoke. He's changed his position on this occasion, so they'll have to look out for him as well as GetRight. So
the early stages of the round are well and truly over, and it's starting to enter the territory where Mousesports need to act, and act they shall, as they are going to go towards inner now. Altogether, it would seem. And once again, Alu's going to have a nice angle onto them. They really need to use nades to get down onto the bomb plant very safely, and Alu's going to take the first player down. If Alu can stop them getting close to connector so his teammates can rotate, this should go well. He gets a second kill as well. This is going very nicely so far for the Swedes. Bomb will go down for Mousesports, so Exist comes in with a frag as well, as Nex is looking to get himself off the bomb train. This is such a horrible spot. It's exposed from the left and from the right, and NiP are slowly closing in on Mousesports, and Nex will finally go down. Alu with a trio of kills, and the save there for NiP. 14 rounds now for them, as they start to begin to get a very strong chance to just close this one out and take map number 1 against Mousesports.
Alu has been instrumental in causing significant damage to the T side here on the B bomb site. Again, the first 2 days of this tournament, he was missing a lot of shots. Of course, he got those 2 clutches on Cobblestone, but outside of that, the general performance was lower than he might expect of himself. But now he is really putting the shots in when they count here in the clutch part of Game 1. Game 1 of this best of 3. 2-round lead now for NiP, and Mousesports have to be worried as NiP are just around away from game points here. Mousesports with another buy, more nades, more flashes, but no AWP once again.
Yeah, just going for another slow secret control play, as they've been doing pretty much every round, which is always good because GetRight does have a tendency to try to get himself up there if he can. Maybe they could get a free frag on him. That's always a possibility, but he's just spotting the legs there to see if he can get some info. And there he is going to spot that there is a player or two there, and we'll see that chrisJ is going to be looking over the top. Oh my god, he's going to take down Alu. That was glorious, that shot. Long range with the AK. Alu never expected that angle with the boost. And now NiP have to consider, do we rotate a man? And GetRight's even going to pick up the AWP. Don't see this a lot from him, but he's pretty good with it, of course. And we have the slow creep from Mousesports into the bomb site. Flashes going in right now. GetRight needs to deliver. There's the first kill. Can he get anything else? They're coming really, really close to his position right now, and the bomb will go down.
Okay, he's going to make his escape, reset the situation. chrisJ wondering where he's gone. chrisJ might make the right gamble here as we have more CTs coming in through the connected area. Two Mousesports players there waiting to trade if they need be, but they will find both the frags. Freiburg and GetRight coming back. Freiburg is the last one left in 2 versus 1, which he will not win. Mousesports getting an important round. And the money is not fantastic on the CT side here, so they may have to go for the eco and even things up. That said, Freiburg and Alu have a bit of money, so they could drop for the team. But then if they lose that, they may be in an even worse situation. So I think the conservative option might be better here. They'll spend a bit of extra cash they have. Freiburg going for an M4 with full armor, and Alu going for the scout there. So they'll still have average money with their teammates, and they'll try to get the damage in. You can see the money not being great for Mousesports either. Next limited to just a pistol in this round, and Freiburg gets the opening kill onto chrisJ, which means a potential weapon for his team. You can see he's throwing his gun away. So the other weapon can be retrieved by a teammate. Forrest running in to pick up that AWP. Now things will get dangerous for Mousesports.
Yeah, their tendency to play slow rounds can definitely hurt them here, as we see an edge being lost, having that man go solo into Ali. And
they have the same guns now as the CT side, and the CT side have a man advantage.
Oh, and Forrest is going to pick up another kill as well for his team. So now things get really weird for Mousesports, as they have to make a round happen. And the problem is that they don't have the ability to make a fast approach to connector, and Exist is in a very sneaky position right now. Oh my god, the Molot's going to hit him in the head. Oh, and he's actually burning there. It's going to completely screw him over, but it's going to actually be another frag from Forrest, and it's going to be a nice cleanup indeed, thanks to the AWP that was secured by Freiburg. Mousesports not really playing that round correctly, getting punished by NiP, and now they're on map point.
That AWP drop turned out to be a complete disaster here for Mousesports. It lost. Freiburg just went bananas with it, and that may be what causes Mousesports to lose the first game here, as winning one round after losing so many and losing the next will decimate their economy. It was bad enough with only 4 rifles in a previous round. Next going down through the smoke. Only GobB has an AK here. The rest of the team just with pistols. And first things first, they need to go and get the desperation plant in early so they can play the clock advantage here and force the pressure onto NiP. NiP though getting almost all the frags here. Ali almost getting caught, but Forrest coming in for support. Ali will finally go down, and Forrest will get the final frag. So that's going to be 16 rounds to NiP, taking a 16-13. Fairly close stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's a really interesting game, very back and forwards, especially considering that Mousesports had a very, very shaky CT side, and I was actually worried for them because it looked like they couldn't play their game. The whole situation was that they were taking good initial edges at the start of rounds and then kind of giving them away. And you never want to do that on your CT side because the economy is so delicate. And we saw that they were able to get things going for themselves, but we saw actually a lot of B plays from them as well. They were never able to push connector fast enough. The one round that they could do that, you could see that it was just like an instant win, because if you're CTs and you can't get through connector, it's just, you can't even get into the B bomb site. So yeah, very close one. We've got the Dust 2 coming up next, and I really don't know what to expect from these two teams now.
Yeah, I believe Dust 2 was the choice of NiP, if I'm not mistaken, and Train was a choice of Mousesports. So Mousesports have lost their pick again. NiP won almost every round on the CT side there actually, and the round where Mousesports won just came all too late, and losing the AWP just crushed everything. That's got to be demoralizing as well. But they're going to need to get their heads back into the game for the pick of Dust 2 by NiP. And the thing is, like, Alu's hitting his shots now.
Yes,
he's hitting his shots. He was really solid in holding down the B bomb site and keeping NiP on, ahead with the edge when they needed it. But We're going to go to a quick break here, and we'll get more into Dust 2 just before the game starts on the other side, so we will see you in a few minutes.
I'm on it.
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 Hello and welcome back here to Gfinity Summer Masters, the final day. We are into game 1. We're into match 1, excuse me, into game 2, as NiP have taken Mousesports' pick Train, and we're moving on to Dust 2, Dan.
Yeah, Dust 2. What can you really expect from Dust 2? It's always nuts. NiP used to actually always like picking it, and every team knows how to play Dust 2. It's a super classic map. It's even you know, strategic from a strategic sense. I mean, the map is pretty similar to even the 1.6 days. There's of course a lot of metagame differences these days, but it's such a classic that everyone knows what they're doing, and there's a lot of experience on Mousesports. So this could be a really close one. But what I'm afraid of for Mousesports is the fact that Alu's actually really hitting his shots now. I don't think he missed an important shot. I think he hit surplus shots in that game.
He hit a lot of shots, but Dust 2 is the map where Chris J made his name.
That's true.
As far as YouTube is concerned, and so on, with the jumping scout shenanigans and so on. Although it's all good having a highlight clip, but this is not a highlight. This is a whole match.
This is real life.
So we'll see. Indeed, it's real people, real guns. Well, not real guns.
Not real guns. No.
Real people and stuff. So the question is, can he show up? Is he going to be an answer to Alu? Are they going to duel each other? Is it going to be a case of, you know, we've seen, especially I think even before the AWP nerfs, actually, we saw a lot less dueling from AWPers through double doors, and the CT AWPers often going towards long, for example, or towards long, maybe flashing in for the teammates who go for the peak with 2 players, and then moving towards short, etc. So we might not see the duels. It depends on how aggressive these players are feeling and so on. We'll have to see how they play. We might even see AWPs towards the B bomb site. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see exactly how they choose to execute.
One thing I remember from the Faceit finals actually was when we had a Dust 2 with NiP and TSM, and actually all TSM did to kind of abuse NiP. I think it was TSM. It may be another team like deep into the tournament, but generally the bottom line was that they kept catching NiP out in the middle round. There's like a timing where when you're playing the 2-3 setup, where you have a guy who will be playing, who will be in charge of the site or maybe catwalk, who will go down, leave the AWP on car. You have a guy left on long, and he'll go down into CT because around like the 110 timing, you're worried about B pressure or the B split pressure or mid pressure basically. So you want to not allow the T's to get up there. So you want to have like the crossfire going down. So it was always be get right coming through CT spawn, and I'm not sure if it's TSM or maybe another team, but they kept winning rounds, very important ones, by just basically focusing on catching get right just as he was going for that timing. So which goes to show you how important timings are and studying demos and stuff are. And Mousesports strike me as a team that are very studied. So I'm quite curious to see what they actually have in the way of executes and specific things against NiP, because NiP are very good at playing a very stable standard game when it comes to their Dust 2s. So that might be a little bit predictable, but if they're on their game, it's also just generally very strong. So I'll have to see if that comes into play.
One thing NiP are known for on the CT side is having a passive short. The T's tend to get short reasonably easily against NiP, but the question is, if we're going to see the same NiP on the CT side, we'll have to pay attention to how easily they give up the short area on Mousesports' T side, and what Mousesports can do with that. If they're able to get splits going on, if they're able to peak, and again, it's going to be how Alu is played. Is he going to be holding down the short area? Is he going to be in CT spawn, holding things from there? Because that would be the more aggressive way to do it, trying to stop them before they get to short, or being on short and trying to stop the push onto the site, from the site itself or from the car area. I think he would probably play it from the site itself, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, short is usually risky. I mean, we see the AWPers sometimes going to go for the peak where you stand on the very edge and like the lip of the crate, which is at the top of the short stairs, and just like to take a shot and drop off and stuff like that. Like, but that's more aggressive because it's so hard to trade there as the CTs, because the Ts can get the trades so fast and they can be so close together, so it can be very risky. So you often just see the AWPer just staying put on car, which is perfect. But the only problem is that if the Ts recognize this and they don't want to challenge you, some teams are like, we actually want to aim duel him and trade him. They get the wall of smokes going, and then the AWPer's kind of useless. So the best that he can do is flash in for a teammate just who's on the site on Goose or something to stop the plant from going down. So you get a really hard situation. But again, it depends on the Mousesports style. Like we'll actually note this very quickly into the match, and I'm very curious to see how these buy rounds actually match up with these two teams. But yeah, as far as Dust 2 goes, do you want to make a prediction here? How do you think this is gonna end up actually panning out?
Well, I was gonna say actually, in terms of the wall of smokes you mentioned, NiP are one of the teams where when they execute onto the site, Alu's the one who throws the fast smoke, which bounces off the site towards the car area, which stops that very strong angle where you see so many AWPers hold.
Yep.
But I wonder if Mousesports are going to have a similar strategy if they go for such a push to stop Alu from holding the same angle. We'll have to wait and see. In terms of predictions, again, it's the pick of NiP, and again, with Alu hitting his shots, I wouldn't pick against NiP in this situation. But I'm not going to go as to offer a score, because I think that would be a waste of time, basically. So I'll just say that I expect NiP to win this and take it 2-0.
Okay, expecting the 2-0. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I definitely think that NiP have an edge here. Like you were alluding to, they actually have very, very good executes. Again, they used to choose this map a lot, so they're really well drilled on this one. There are teams that are sometimes like, well, we won't really prepare for Dust 2 that much because we know how to play it. We know a few through the smokes. We don't need to go too deep on it because you can get a lot done with picks. And the picking game and just pushing and good mid-round calls, you can get a lot done in that sense. But NiP are a team that do have solid wall of smokes, like you just mentioned. They do have all of that set up. Like Freiburg will be there, like he'll throw down the Molotov down into spawn, or maybe drop it into spawn. I actually wonder if we'll see a lot of that, like the dropping into spawn, because that's something that's happening quite a lot, and it can be really strong because you can kind of fake what looks like an A execute, drop a guy into spawn as the B split comes in. So there's a guy in CT, he dies instantly, then there's two players on A who are completely cut off from helping against the B split, and it's like a GG straight away in that round. So there's lots of cool things to look out for, but we are going to be live into this one any moment here. The pistol round between NiP and Mousesports for map number 2. NiP are upper map, just winning train, but here it is, Mousesports on the T side.
Okay, so NiP going for 4 players with armor. Freiburg going for a smoke, which he's just thrown somewhere. Indeed, that's going to be straight into the B tunnels, and he will be holding the defuse kit. So not going to be any sneaky defuse attempts, just going to try and shut down B sooner rather than later. NiP, look, they've got Get-Rights all the way at top mid already, and there are 2 players passively long, and I think they might have detected him. Indeed, they are. So they're going to be stuck towards the T-spawn position. And NiP, again, we said they normally play passive short, but in this pistol round, they've got 3 people. They've taken entire control of mid. And Mousesports now, they may feel like they have no options. Get-Right can't push too far, A, because it would be an overextension, but B, they may not know if there is any push towards long. So he'll move all the way back to short. And Mousesports are now in a difficult situation where they need to consider their options.
Yeah, this is quite cool because they know that Mousesports like to play slow. And, well, why not take some quick map control? Now they can have a much better response, much faster rotations. And this could work out very well. Going to get a flashback. Is Forest, though, just, firing a few shots to cover his retreat. As we'll have Mousesports looking to begin and make a move here, but Freiburg's just going to go peek out. He's going to get caught off by Chris J in the upper dark area, and now Mousesports are going to go for that push into middle, but Ali's going to get ahead of the smoke. He goes close with the USP, can't get it done, and now it's Forrest who has to find something with this pistol, and so far he's coming up short. He does have support, but not for long. Exist goes down, and then Forrest gets shot in the back of the head, and it's just Get-Right who's left alive. Gets a sneaky frag there onto Chris J, but and this 1-on-3 is not happening. I don't think he's got a player on his flank. He's gonna notice. No, Godfrey gets the knife on him as well. That's an extra $1,500 in the bank. That's pretty harsh.
That started so well for NiP, but turned into a disaster when Freiburg got taken down pushing the B tunnel. He gave up the entire site. He gave up the defuse kit as well in a horrible situation, and the remaining players trying to desperately hold the B bomb site. With mid lost after Ali couldn't take out all the players coming through, means that the players on B got flanked. So really, they put themselves in a strong position, but then it all fell apart. Like a ball in a china shop, and everything just got completely wrecked.
Yeah, we got a bit of a buy coming in from NiP in this round, and something I have to say about Mousesports' style that they've used in the previous map, and we saw in that pistol round, is this slower style where they slowly kind of react. They put out some feelers, they react, they look for more information, they create a reaction again, is a very nice style because it means that they're constantly taking decisions. So the smarter players, the smarter team, the better team players will come out ahead in that spot rather than just going for something and just hoping that it will work. So I really like that, giving yourself more chances to create an edge in the match. And so that style is, yeah, it's really, really impressive from Mousesports. We'll have to see if they can get a clean round here because this is dangerous. NiP, they got a mag on Get-Right. Look at this position. This could be glorious, James.
Jumping mag versus potentially jumping scout, and again short. This is where Chris J made his name with that gun. You can see him hopping around now with the controversial scout. This is a weapon where pretty much every pro believes that the jumping accuracy needs to be nerfed here, but still falling on deaf ears on that one. Get-Right, is he going to emerge at the right time? Chris J is dancing. Ooh, I think Exist can make the call before Get-Right jumps up, actually. And here it is, coming there, getting the tag, getting the follow-up as well. Chris J going down as the push comes in towards B.
Gary's going in the smoke as well. He's going to be coming out, emerging slowly behind the push for Mousesports, but his range is not really going to work too well with that mag, and Mousesports have to go in fast, and they're going to make it happen. They're getting the entries into the bomb site, and now it's going to be the plant just in time with the remaining 7 seconds on the clock as we have everyone coming in, but Gero gets a sneaky mag frag again. 3 versus 2 here for NiP. They can make this one happen after all. Spitty under pressure. He can't help his teammate. He's got to deal with this player up close here. Exist takes down the one on the site, and Spitty comes back in. It's all on Alu now with that P250. Spitty's on 10 HP though. Alu can make this one work. His well, Spitty is just retreating to a very far away angle. It's very smart, Spitty.
Indeed. So Alu's going to fake, but Spitty's in fact going to run in. But there's going to be no time for Alu to find the fuse kit. Ooh, has he got time? If he gets out and around by the pillar, no, he won't get far enough. I think he will actually. Wow. So he saves an AK. So that's a little bit of a bonus there after getting all that money from the frags.
Yeah, they did get a lot of money from the kills actually, and we'll have to see what if that affects them. You know, here. I mean, I guess if you're on the T side, you could consider going for a buy, knowing that your opponent's economy is weak. But because it's a CT side, you really want to get a nice economy going, and so you can have the full buys and just keep those rolling in. So we're going to see Get Right, who got a couple kills with the mag actually. He's going to be grabbing another mag, and Alu's in with a fast frag up short. That's beautiful there from Alu.
Indeed, that Mag 7 did pay for itself with the second frag launching next into the boxes there. 3 people over towards the B bomb site. And again, they're abandoning the mid-short area with 2 people starting to creep down the long area. But there's going to be no challenge there just yet. Mousesports just going to leave Spitty, making sure there's no crazy flank here from the Swedish Finnish side.
So they're gambling a little bit, NiP here on a bit of a B play. But it's actually okay because I mean, Get Right's there with the mag. It's something they can always save. Alu's in a good spot to kind of trade on long. So it's actually a nice setup from NiP. We know that they can just pull out any kind of miracles from anywhere with these weapons. So having done so much damage in the previous round, if they get, you know, maybe 3 frags here, that's actually horrendous for Mousesports, because come the buy of NiP, all they have to do is win 1 round, and Mousesports will be ecoing straight away, and that's pretty impressive from NiP. So we'll have to see if they can actually do that damage. They've already got the first frag thanks to Alu, and now Mousesports are looking like they want to make that move, and they're going to go into the B bomb site, it seems.
Into the stack. On the back. There's the first frag from Get Right. Comes in for some more damage actually. Can Forrest follow up? Indeed he can with the pistol. Freiberg coming in for support as well. Leaving Spitty in a world of pain. 15 seconds and all he can do is save in this situation, as there is lots of bounty for NiP to pick up across the B bomb site. And Spitty will be wise to hide.
Let's see the money
the
actually
cower
real
behind
quick.
the boxes. Show me the money!
Look at that. Look at the money. It's ridiculously low. They spent everything in this round, and then they just lost, so they get $1,400.
Alu's got 7k.
And yeah, they were basically saving. Alu, they're all super rich. This is so powerful for NiP. A super strong economy on the CT side, just like that. And that's the danger of NiP. And Mousesports playing a little bit too slow for their own good, and then going for that B play after they didn't have any information. So
we still have
that was a mistake.
We still have the conservative buy here for NiP. They're not going to go for the Manolo shoes straight away then, because of course Mousesports are going to be now in a difficult situation. They're forcing it up. They've got 3 pistols. The Mag 7 will continue here on the NiP side. Exist picking it up now, going aggressive by the smoke. That nade might catch a little bit of something, but not a whole lot going on there. Spitty down to 52 HP with the AK. And again, NiP not bringing out the AWP just yet. If things don't go their way on this round, they should still be able to get out by in the next. However, they should be good. They should be all good in the hood.
Yeah, so Mousesports kind of abandoned the short area right there. And interestingly, NiP were playing 2 players towards short. So right now it's a situation whereby Mousesports, they need to create something. They can't just wait for NiP. NiP have showed that they're just willing to sit on these passive positions. They've got to fast rotate because of that short play, and that's something that Mousesports haven't forced them out of either. So they don't know what's going on with this, and they are going to try to go back up short now, or are they going to go for the quick cat drop? It looks like they're going for...
Did you see sorry to interrupt you, Dan.
That's okay.
Did you see the crossfire of flashes? They're going to push mid. We saw flashes come in from CT spawn and from B slope. So maybe Mousesports thinking that there are less players over towards the side, but Exist is just jumping, peeking, while Ali will start spraying. Exist going to take 1 frag and get traded on. But that'll be a nice little bit of money for him at little to no expense. The rest of the team will get cut down. Only Exist falling there. And again, only with the Mag 7. They can throw him a gun down, put Alu on the AWP, but no, he's going to just insta-buy and then forward. So they will continue with the rifles for now.
Yeah, so 2-2 is the score, and Mousesports, after that quick force-up, are left with very little cash indeed to do much with. And NiP, of course, looking to See if they can get some early information, Ali, with a quick peek on the double doors and a nicely timed grenade. It's not going to do a huge amount of damage, but we've got no Kevlar on these Mousesports players, so they are going to get cut up by these bullets.
Yeah, and NiP needs to make sure that they keep the distances here. No crazy business like when GetRight was pushing up the ladder. There is a bit of a dink onto Forest, and Ali will take a more aggressive position to protect his homie. Forest will get dinked again and get taken out, but that's all the damage to be done on the NiP side.
Forrest laughing about how he got taken down there, but yeah, they're looking really strong at the moment. And NiP, they look in good spirits. They got a momentum on the important CT side economically, and from the individual standpoint as well, as we will see the AWP come into play with Alu. So are they going to go back into a passive setup? Will we see the default NiP right now? Looks like so far. We are also going to see that at the start of the rounds.
You saw Chris J there. He's holding an angle down mid, but he's only got an AK, so rather than looking through double doors, he's just looking into make sure there are no CTs pushing lower tunnel. So a nice off angle. I haven't actually seen someone holding that angle before from T-Spawn with fear of the AWP. With Forest going down, they have to bank on an AWP being dropped for Alu and the rifle going over to Forest. So it's Exist holding, you know, we can, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Chris J on the CT side holding the angle that Exist is holding with an AWP, but Exist will just do it with the M4.
The interesting thing here is that NiP are playing the kind of both B players towards a peak on, or a defensive angle towards the double doors, whereas Exist, who would be in CT, is actually on catwalk, and that was supposed to work for them, but the quick kill comes in from GodB. Alu tries to get something done there for a refrag, but it will not happen, has to back away now. So this little gamble from NiP positionally is not worked out, and looks like Mousesports have taken an advantage, but they don't have a lot of time left, 35 seconds. And 1 HP on Alu indeed, so Mousesports deciding that it's time to go for that A plate. But do they have the grenades to back it up? Alu is there with the AWP, he's got 1 HP, so the nades will really hurt him here, but Freiburg comes in from CT, gonna gun down next straight away. Oh, GetRight getting 2 headshots instantly there from long, and this is completely crushed by NiP. Once again, Mousesports not finding an answer here, just going for that slow play, but it's not seeming to really give them all that much so far.
That's quite surprising, actually. NiP looked like they were in trouble, but then the Swedes went nuclear around Alu. That was pretty crazy because, you know, the position, when an AWP holds that position on short and then drops down, it's problematic because never mind if they hit the shot or not, if they're trying to get back to the site, they are very static in what they can do with the AWP. 1 shot at a time, very likely to get traded. You saw Alu, he tried to throw the counter flash in and made it round the corner with 1 HP. If he's like 1 HP, let's take a moment to think about that. If he dies there, then Mousesports probably take the site and we may see a very different round. But surviving with all of 1 HP and an AWP will make the difference there. The other NiP players will combine to take the frag. Take the frags, but GetRight losing long fairly quickly. Exist coming in to try and hold things down, but there is a T behind blue which will give Mousesports the confidence to push out with the rest of the team and force Exist back to the A site. We have the Lurker in mid, of course, to stop the rotation coming in up short. That's going to be Dennis with the Tech 9. He has a very good chance to find a frag here, and now he's got a beta at top mid, so this is going to be even stronger for the Mousesports side.
Yeah, but will Forest commit into that angle? It's pretty scary. They have a man on short and there's 2 on lower dark, so NiP with a nice bit of control. They don't have to be too risky with it, and Forest will get a bit of damage and just hold. They can't really push because they would give up B, and Exist will just peek into mid, pick up the kill, finish it off, and they will spot somewhat of a rotation from the T's into that B site. So here we go. NiP going for the rotate there, 3 against 4. So really good round here from Mousesports despite having nothing to work with.
Yeah, we're seeing some monster plays here from the German side, but we're seeing some monster frags there from Forest. 2 very fast frags onto Nex and Chris J. Double headshots coming in. GodB and Spiddy remaining. GodB only has a P250, Dan. Is he going to have an opportunity to pick up a rifle here? Alu is waiting on the site, and Mousesports are in deep waters, which suits Alu just fine.
Yeah, he's setting up with the AWP. There's the shot. Spiddy is going to hit the ground, and there is the last man with that P250, and Alu is just bearing down on him, but it's not going to work with that 5-7. 7 seconds left. He's not got the bomb, though, so he's going to have to try to stay alive. He's got the AWP. He needs to stay alive here. Can't die after the time, and he's just going to hide in Gandalf and just keep the AWP going for himself. So we'll have...
we can't see what if he actually survived with the gun or not
fine.
there. Indeed, he did just about. There was a play coming up short, so I was wondering what was going to happen there. But it was interesting, Mousesports, they took long with 4 plays, then completely vacated it. They didn't even leave a play there. They thought, okay, they're going to stack the A site now. They've got no vision of long. Let's just all rotate towards B. Didn't work out for them in the end, but at least they've got a bit of a consolation in the AWP saved from the previous round. So Chris J will be on the big green, and he is looking down mid.
I think that Mousesports really need to adjust the pace in some of these rounds because we're seeing a lot of slow play from them, and it's been consistently slow play. We saw that Alu could safely peek mid there, and usually that's very risky because the timings can be quick from some teams. But we've never seen a fast timing from Mousesports to actually punish fast plays like that from NiP. So there could be a series of edges that is just going to help NiP run away with this one. They're already 5-2 at the moment in this bye against Mousesports, who are also on a good set of weapons and grenades. We're yet to see an execute from them. They seem to just want to play the reactive game and just slowly poke at NiP and see what happens, and then make a mid-round call from that.
Speaking of poking, it seems that they're trying to get a read on what NiP think they're doing and how NiP might react, and then they're kind of going for the bluff and trying to play against how NiP might be reading the situation. However, it's NiP who are 3 rounds up at the moment, and Mousesports again who have the limited buy. Now it's time for Speedy to go just with the Tech 9.
And because they have a man on Goose, actually, they're allowing Alu to actually peek the double doors. So if they go for this split, he should get the first kill. If he doesn't, he can back away or help his teammate on long before going towards Car, where he can get some more frags as well. So Gerag picks up the first kill. Alu can now switch his attention if he wants to, but Exist is going to be alone there. Gets taken down by Goose, and Alu cannot help in time. Next gets both kills. Nice entries there onto the bomb site. 7 seconds to get the bomb planted, and it's so close from denying that plant. And does he have time to actually do this? Oh my god, he's actually going to go down as well. NiP going to save the round. Really well done by them. God B is going to survive at the end there. But Mousesports, again, their slow plays, it's hurting them.
Indeed, and Ali will continue on the op. He was there to support on long, but didn't get the smoke. Didn't get the frag in time. But anyway, NiP somehow, I don't know how Mousesports didn't get the plant down. I guess they cancelled it when that spray was coming in with the silenced M4 from long, but running out the bullets, not finding the frag, did enough to distract Mousesports to make them reset the bomb plant attempt, and then that was enough for NiP to stop the plant. So Mousesports is going to leave them with a worse money situation than they otherwise might have had.
I just want to point out the amount of spots here where we have the round won by time for the CTs. That's 4 rounds won by time.
4 rounds with
4 rounds
timeout.
won by timeout. Yeah. That tells you actually quite a lot. Because
I think it's 3 in a row as well.
Yeah, 3 in a row there.
3 in a row, won by timeout. Have you ever seen that?
No, but this is the thing. Okay, so usually, right, the way you want to do this as Ts is you want to try to get some information proactively. So you want to take short, you want to actually try to entry a little bit into middle, and by doing that you see, okay, are they playing a guy in CT spawn? They're playing a guy in CT spawn, that means they've got 1 on long and 1 on car. That's usually how the 2-3 setup works. If they have a player there, maybe you get the frag. If you get the frag, it tells you a lot. If there's nobody there, you know that they're playing 3 on, or maybe 2 on long and like 1 on the side, so they're very far away from B, and then you're encouraged to do a B split, so you get all the information. Mousesports aren't really finding much information, and then they get to this point every time where it's like, oh, there's 30 seconds left, guys. We got to do something. What do we actually have? Well, they aren't poking enough to find out enough about what the setup is for NiP. And NiP are mixing it up loads. They're taking all this time early in the round where they know that Mousesports are going to be super slow to positions. Ali will just jump up middle. He'll jump up onto the long. He'll jump up onto catwalk and just get early info for the CT side. So NiP are always able to take little gambles, and they're safe because Mousesports' pace is always consistently slow. So this has been an issue, I think. I would love to see them just go really fast here. That would be pretty awesome.
Okay, so 5 AKs, and you can see the money limited for Mousesports once again. Ali going to go for the early peek because he knows that they don't have the cash. Oh, he's going to see Chris J's belt, and that's going to be enough to take him off. The nade coming in, that's a deep nade as well. So Mousesports have to be worried. They may not want to play this. We've got a 3-man procession coming through the B tunnels here, preaching the word of NiP. But all the remaining Mousesports players are over towards long at the moment. Unbeknownst to them, they have a net and they are about to be choked out.
Yeah, again, NiP, they have all the time in the world to just go for these plays, and it's so safe to do this, these aggressions, and that has to be punished at some point. We can see how many advantages they're getting. They're all coming for the rotation right now. They're coming from all sides, but Gero has to hold. He goes down straight away, and now Freiberg is lurking in the midst of the smoke, and he will throw up the flashes here and just come in, and that is not going to work too well. Next picks up the kill. Exist trying to get something done here from Catwalk. He will find the frag onto God B, and there's just Nex who's left over with 8 HP, and it's not looking too good here for the Germans, as he does find the headshot. Next, can he get the clutch here? No, he won't get it. Forrest comes back in from long, and to be honest, that was a great potential save from Mousesports, but NiP were all over this.
Yeah, that was a very strong round there. And again, Freiberg, he could have got a lot more. Like, if you run that situation back a few times, he probably gets loads more kills in that situation. So he was unlucky to only do what he did there with that gap in the smoke. So, Alu peeking once again. More aggression here, but he's not going to want to give that AWP up. So maybe if he had an M4, he might go all the way up. Again, these nades up to top short. Spiddy going to be left on 30 HP. Alu backing up just in time as there's a push through double doors. He might need support if he does not find his frag. Getting dinked, and there is the support. Forrest getting dinked as well. Now, the things could spin around for Mousesports very well. Never mind that. Everyone's dead, that apart from Nex.
Yeah, they're all dead. So we'll see Nex finishing off. Forrest, he was quite low. Alu's quite low as well, but there's no way Nex is getting up through this crossfire to actually find safety. You can't find Alu though, who was pretty weak. So those two frags not really going to worry NiP all too much, I don't think. Their money's pretty decent. Got a player with 16k, Forrest. And
I don't think Alu should have faced there at all. Because he should have just stayed behind the box. You can see he's throwing flashes out for his friend, but that's an unnecessary death, I think. I mean, there's a small chance that, you know,
it works out because Forrest is 16k at least.
Next might win the duel. I guess, yeah, that's fair enough.
Got the cash in the bank. We got the really fast take there. This is a super fast timing from Mousesports. The first time really seeing this, but Freiberg's going to run up mid. He gets a double on the spray down, and that is massive there for NiP. They're going to save it against that fast timing. It's now 2-on-2 with the bomb on Chris J, but this is awesome for Mousesports because it's 2-on-2 and there's a minute and 20 seconds left, but we have Alu, who's in T spawn right now. He could catch them both in the back with his AWP.
He's on the flank. Will he make Mousesports walk the plank? Oh yes, come on, send the tweets, I'm ready, baby. Forrest taking down Chris J on shot, that will be the bomb as well, all the information for the team. You can see he's pre-firing because he can see the shadow of Nex on the floor. He's about to peek, he's popping, he's going, and he finds the frag there, putting Mousesports in a difficult situation. 7-round lead for NiP.
I just want to remind you guys again, how like, NiP have realized this very smartly so, that they can get so many edges just by early aggressions. Usually that's something that's risky, it's very punishable, and that they have not been punished a single time. We have Alu always going to be peeking there. He even knows that they don't have an AWP now. It's even better for them. They're going to go for and Mousesports go for that fast long timing again, but this time NiP, much better response. The bomb is dropped, and Mousesports are looking really, really bad in this round right now. They've got 2 players left, one of which has just a tech 9. Bomb is down in long. This round is pretty over here for Mousesports.
Yeah, this is looking like a curb stomping at the moment from NiP. They are dominating everything at the moment.
So this turned out to be a really good place for NiP to find themselves on map number 2, especially after that train. We can see
Forrest is up there. He's large and in charge, Dan. He's in the rear with the gear.
Oh yes. Chris J is back on the AWP. This could be a good opportunity now because again this is a nice aggression stopper, the AWP, and we can see again Alu's going to go for an aggressive timing. They can do this again and again and again, still unpunished largely speaking, and it's will he find a frag? Oh, the flick won't connect this time and goes for a number 2, still not connecting it, but third time's a charm. Dennis is going to go down in lower dark and the bomb is down on short and they're going to try to refrag him here, but look at this excellent cross-firing from NiP. Forrest just comes in at the right moment, finds the angle, and all of a sudden Mousesports kind of stuck in the mud now, trying to figure out how do we approach this situation. It's a 4-on-3 versus these CTs.
Yeah, they need to get lucky and find 2 frags here, but I think there's an opportunity for them, but Forrest is playing very, very well at the moment. Finally gets traded by Spiddy, leaving 1 player towards the bomb site. Freiberg looking for an early advantage. That spray down's going to be completely outrageous there. Finishing off Mousesports again. 9-round lead for NiP now.
Look at the money. It's just ridiculous. It is insane.
Look at all those little blue icons, round after round after round after round after round. 10 rounds in a row. Let's go.
Yeah, this is pretty sick, to be honest. 11-2. You can see Mousesports are trying to adjust, but NiP are just still making it happen, and it's Exist now pulling out the troll gun, basically.
Oh, this gonna be bad.
He's got that scar. He's got the black blats.
The nades up mid again. This time there's Kevlar to help with the damage. Pop Flash gonna come in, but Alu's gonna try and get behind the box maybe, but he's blind, so he will get close to CT spawn, and there's the first back straight into the face from Nex. Trade coming in from Gobi. Forrest needs to not get dinked in this situation. He will lose a lot of health there, but he will find the frag ultimately. And Freiberg again with the spray down is going to find 3 more players. This guy is spraying all over the place. Someone give him a garden hose.
12-2 now. NiP just completely wrecking Mousesports, taking them to the cleaners. And at the moment, we have the double AWP here, Alu and Forest. And Freiberg, he's going for it, man. He just, oh, he's not going to use it. Okay. I think he had an M249 for a second there.
He should have thrown a decoy. He should have thrown a decoy for that negative and then picks up his rifle again.
Oh, yes.
Worth.
All right,
when
so
Freiberg retires, he's going to have a job doing... Actually, let's... Wait a second. Let's finish the round first. This is... I don't even know what to say. They're just getting slaughtered down. They're just being rolled into the abattoir one by one. You know, like there's innocent cows, you stroke them around the side of the ear, like, oh, this guy's nice. You know, oh, let's go in here. Maybe there's food in here. Maybe there's fresh grass. No, there's just hooks, sharp objects, and death.
yeah, it's pretty... They're just savaging them at the moment. And it's... I mean, this is going to be a very educational demo for Mousesports because there were a lot of problems here in their T side. And NiP now, as they're going into the pistol round, they're feeling really awesome. They're rolling, and that's the worst kind of NiP you want to face up against when they're feeling like super awesome. And we're going to have them playing the pistol round. There are 2 players in long for NiP. They've got the rest of the team moving through B with that with the upper dark area with that bomb at the moment. And Mousesports are a bit all over the place. Next in a pop-up, and pop one off there. Freiberg goes down. It's multiple kills coming in from NiP. They're good take up the B-bomb site as Alu goes straight out the doors. He wants more with that USP, and NiP will find the pistol round. This is going to be a fast one.
When Freiberg is like 40 years old, he's going to have a job doing infomercials for garden hoses. He's going to be like, this spray down is 10 out of 10, you know?
Oh my god.
Just going like past the camera on a lawnmower, but still holding the garden hose, just spraying everything down.
I can actually picture that as well.
Completely outrageous. Have a cameo appearance by Get Right as well.
Oh, that is outrageous indeed. Okay, Chris J is going to get himself a fast scout frag. Maybe they can pull this back out with the force, but we get some good trades coming in on long, just playing that basic one-for-one game for NiP, and it's going pretty well with that weapon advantage. Now it's going to push straight up onto the site and keep it simple.
So, as flashy as that scout kill was, is it going to be enough here for Mousesports? They are 12 rounds behind at the moment, and Exist is still in T-spawn, just putting that salt vinegar into that wound. Chris J still jumping with a scout from close range, finding the frag. Down to 2 versus 2, and importantly, they have a diffuse kit on Chris J. Get Right's going to be holding things down from long. Let's see where the plant is from Chris J's point of view, maybe. Indeed, he's got an awful plant there, and Get Right's going to pop him straight away.
I believe.
13 match points for NiP.
I believed in Chris J, man. Here it is. Boom. That's nice.
Indeed.
That is so nice.
The map where he made his name, he continues to do so, but it's going to be all for nothing maybe here as NiP have double the buy of Mousesports, literally. They're 22k versus 11k there, and a little bit disappeared. Chris J gonna have revenge enacted on him by Exist in that situation. That's a nice pop flash there by Nex actually, but not gonna be enough to find any frags there. 3 going down already for Mousesports, and the end is nigh, the end is here. NiP 2-0 with a monster performance on Dust 2.
Yeah, Exist is so happy right there. That's the way you want to win a semi-final. Just crush your opponents. Just absolutely crush them. See them driven before you, James.
Indeed. So as well as Mousesports did to get to this point, now they're with the big boys, and the big boys are in the schoolyard, bullying, prodding, taking all your money, and buying extra lunch.
Yeah, all that lunch money was indeed stolen there. Mousesports have a lot to go back and work on for their Dust 2 game at least. I think NiP, because you know, at the end of the day, when you're playing competitively, the glory of it, the almost the poetic element is the fact that your enemies, your rivals, show you your weaknesses. You can go back and work on them to become stronger and come back next time and maybe actually bring a challenge where you can actually beat them and defeat them on these maps where you have problems. And Dust 2 was a very clear one there. It was very obvious, I think, to everyone who's watching that Mousesports have trouble on the T sides and they couldn't figure out how to attack the defense of NiP. And if they do their homework, though, we actually know that they can easily just in a few months, maybe even shorter than that, have a really strong Dust 2 game against NiP. Just some adjustments. And
let's not forget that Mousesports have a new lineup here, which is very raw. You know, they've only had a few days, if weeks even, to start playing with this new lineup. So for them to do so well with such a raw team, basically, is a very good showing indeed. And Train again looks like a stronger map for Mousesports. But we will leave the rest of the analysis to the analysts. Over to Sir Scoots and Co.
Thank you very much, James and DDK.
Apparently, it's easy to improve. I mean, he was saying that theory he said there, which is actually accurate, you know, which is when you show someone their weaknesses, it allows them a chance to improve. I'm going to make DDK the best caster of all time in CS, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to keep working on him.
Oh, boy,
it's easy. Just improve a lot.
Yeah,
it's easy, mate.
Why not?
Well, he's next to James, so
See those glaring flaws in your
The thing is,
personality
if he would spend as much time concentrating on his casting as he does thirsting on all the girls who are in the audience on Twitter, it's unreal. It's unreal.
Gel game.
I urge anyone to go to DDK's Twitter right now. Like, if there's any vague female esports celebrity in the crowd, he's tweeting at them. Hey, I'm Caster.
Yeah.
You know me?
Do you want to see some hot girls online? Just go
Unreal.
to DDK's follow page and just look down it, man. It's unreal.
It's beyond.
It's like
Love you though.
That's what the FBI will have on a board when they're tracking him like a serial killer, like this one, and then he was outside this one's house and he was following this one. Like, it'll be unreal, man. It'll be a great detective series.
Sorry, DDK.
Be like True Detective.
You know I have to let him go on
Yeah,
that
series
stuff, right?
3. Like.
There's no stopping him. So let's get into it. Obviously, first map, good.
True Detective series
16-13, nice
It was.
and tight.
And it's got to be said, actually, I think Mousesports, you know, they got wrecked in the second map, but on the first map,
They probably should have won that.
yeah, they should have done. They got off to such a slow start. They were really flat. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was they just couldn't get a read on NiP. But, you know, they gave away those 5 T rounds right at the start, and it was easy. It was plain sailing. And then they slowly came back into it. But by that point, that was the margin that NiP needed to get over Train. There are no slouches on Train. They can play it. I don't think they've perfected the map by any means. I think Mousesports have clearly put a lot of work into it, but perhaps it was just we're in a semi-final and we're up against NiP, and they just really struggled early on. That was what ultimately separated the two teams. It was a close game, and Mousesports can feel great about that. No excuses for what happened on Dust 2.
Yeah, and you talked about Dust 2 in the pregame.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Dust 2 should have been a map, by the way, for Mousesports. They're very good at the map, and NiP's not even playing at the moment. It was, admittedly, 2 to 3 months ago, the map NiP was also focused on, but that was also a different NiP, you know, different landscape. The big problem is, people often wonder, why do I hate upsets, okay? Why do I always complain when upsets happen? They think it's just because I hate fun, and I don't want, like, you know, people to be happy. I don't want the little guy to get ahead. No, I hate that. No, the main reason, actually, the main reason why is because of this, which is that what happens is you get a big upset on one day where you have like a stylistic, you have a good matchup against someone better than you play some great CS as well, like maybe the best you've ever played. Then you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, and you know what? That day's over. You know, the clock strikes 12, Cinderella has to go home, she's a pauper then, you know, she's not some royal figure. At that point, then you come out and you have a match like this, which I've seen happen many times when you have the upset in the group stage going into the playoffs, which is you're back to normal. You're just an okay team again. But you're playing one of the best teams where it would have been 2 of the top teams battling, like it might have been Virtus Pro versus NiP now in some epic, locked in some amazing 3-map series. We might still be watching it now. Instead, you start off really slow. Okay, even then they pick it up. They almost come close on map 1. Map 2, they just got completely smashed. That would have never happened if that was Virtus Pro. You'd never get utterly rolled like that. Yeah. And so, unfortunately, that's a mixture of like inexperience. You've never played a big semi. This is a new lineup. You did play amazingly yesterday, but maybe it's even the right sort of opponent for you. I mean, if you're losing on the map like that you should have had a very good chance on, that's what I mean. They just came. This is always the nightmare after the upset, is what if the team comes out completely flat? And then the other team, the experienced team, is like, well, great, we're going to smash them. This might happen next in the next semi-finals. I'm already worried that maybe Dignitas will even do that, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, so just to play a little bit of sort of counterpoint to that, like I definitely think Mousesports can be happy with their sort of first major tournament with this new lineup. They did have some breakout players, but ultimately they came up against the Ninjas in Pyjamas that they're under a different kind of pressure. Mousesports, they were under pressure yesterday. Mousesports have already punched well above their weight, exceeded expectations. That's another reason why these upsets happen on day 1 and then never get carried forward into day 2. Because you're relaxed. You think, oh, we've done it now. We've already gone above and beyond. That's your final. You know, getting to the knockout stages, that's a final for a team like Mousesports. And they're going to go home happy, even though, not right now, but when they reflect on it, you know?
The thing is, though, to end like that as well really sucks for the tournament, because the thing is, the other maps that they'd lost was often like it made sense, like, oh, you just got outskilled by Envious here. On almost every other lost map that they'd had in the tournament, I could still actually see the same strengths for them, like, oh, great tactics, like you did the right approach, you just couldn't execute, or it just didn't work because you got outplayed, fair enough. But this last map was just nothing. They had absolutely nothing, and unfortunately, everyone else might be loving it here because it was a bit of like light relief, you know. I hate the idea that a big semi-final in a tournament where it's supposed to be really competitive turns into like a circus, you know, and just like, oh, people hitting party shots and buying stupid weapons.
Yeah, the Negev was out at
That just shows that like it wasn't competitive on that last map. So unfortunately, our last memory of Mouse is going to be like, well, that wasn't very good, was it? But the rest of the tournament was dynamite for them. Like, one of the big points I have to make here is Godby's tactics were very good. Now, admittedly, one of the problems was he was terrible as a player. He was really bad, actually. But he was so good tactically that he made their team have a chance to compete. Then Nex, actually, even on that last map where they were all getting wrecked, even on the last map, he was the best player. What's funny is I made this point on Twitter just as a chance to, completely unrelated, throw another shot at the NA scene. But think about the hype about NA players. People will talk about like Shroud and Skadoodle and Hiko and Nitro, like, oh, these players with so much potential. Nex has already had one LAN here where he's done better than I've seen any of those players do for like 6 to 8 months, you know. None of them have had one tournament where they were just the best on their team, the best in the tournament. I've been very impressed with him and the tactical approach, but it's just very sad that it had to end like that. They couldn't even go out kind of like 16-12 or something.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was close at least. You take away.
Just a shame.
Yeah, and again, top 4. Nothing, you know, to be too upset about, but again, lots to improve on. And we'll see them again. I believe they've qualified for CEVO, so we'll see them in the States next month, actually. Isn't CEVO in July or something?
Yeah.
So,
but props to NiP anyway for making the semis. And the final,
and
obviously.
again, so, you know, they've gotten out of the groups. Obviously, this did not happen for them last Gfinity, so, you know, they're well on their way. They're in the grand final. And again, before we start talking a little about the next, obviously, they're going to play the winner of MVS Dignitas, but Chewy's doing some interviews for us again today, and he's got Freiburg again. So take it away, Chewy.
Thank you very much, Scoots. Yes, well, first of all, congratulations, Freiburg. Convincing result there on that second map. But before we delve into the games that you played today, knowing that you were facing up against Mousesports last night after their very late game against Virtus Pro, how did you prepare coming into the semi-final?
We watched the games when they played against Virtus Pro yesterday, so I mean, we had a kind of a good idea how they played and what they wanted to do during the rounds. And I mean, we just kind of said that we shouldn't underestimate them because they beat good teams like Virtus Pro. So we just went in with the mentality that they're a really good team, and if we play sloppy, they will beat us. And I mean, it got close on train. They started off as CT, and I mean, we got a good amount of rounds as as T in the start anyway. But I think they did a good job on train, actually, like winning close rounds and stuff like that. So yeah.
So, talking about train, can you talk us a little bit through that? You had that really good start on train, then they started to pull it back, and on those CT rounds, just in the last few, you managed to get it in your favour and take that result 16-13. So, can you just talk us through those last few rounds and how you managed to pull out the victory?
We knew that they had a pretty good economy because they won like 5 rounds in a row with the bomb plant like every round. So, we just said to ourselves, we have to like win the rounds very clean and easy, otherwise our economy will be like really bad, and they will have good economy, and like if they win one key round, we're pretty much fucked. So we just tried to win the important rounds, and I think we kind of managed that in the end. So we built our own economy, and they got pretty beaten down with their economy. So yeah, I think that made us actually win the game, that we built our economy and we didn't really get money fucked on CT.
And obviously that Dust 2 game was an absolute mauling. I think Thorin just described it as a circus, actually, to be quite honest. Going into that map, how confident are you feeling on Dust 2 so far in this tournament? Obviously, you look really good on it there.
I mean, of course, we feel confident on it. We picked it against them, so we have a good idea of how to play Dust 2 in our way, at least. So I think we are all confident playing it, and we kind of know that we would beat them on Dust 2 if they played the same kind of level as they did on Train. So yeah, feel confident.
And final question then. So obviously now we've got the second semi-final coming up. We've got Envious versus Dignitas, which will be on the main stage in a few minutes' time. Have you got any predictions for that? Any team that you'd want to face up against? Obviously, maybe wanting to get revenge on Envious for beating you in the Spring Masters 1 tournament a couple of months ago?
Of course, I would like to play Envious here. I mean, Dignitas is one of those teams they're a good team, but they haven't really proven themselves like as like a really top team yet. So I think Dignitas have a chance of winning, but then they need to get their maps in. Like they have to have the map advantage against Envious and surprise them on one of the maps. But I think Envious will beat them 2-1, and hopefully we can play them in the final on best of 5.
Perfect stuff. Well, Scoots, what do you think about that? Back over to you at the Gfinity desk.
Thank you, Chewy. Good stuff from Adam, as always. You know, a little insight there to their mentality and their play styles.
Well, the way that the Mouse players were playing there, it felt like Adam and the Ants.
Oh.
Yeah, so stand and deliver, NiP.
Get out, mate.
Adam.
Go home.
Adam
How can you rip into DDK and then do that, mate? Like,
it's better than James Bardoff. Like, it's like someone in a forest clearing and there's a leaf just went in his eyes and he can't see. Like, just metaphors. Like, yeah, keep digging, keep digging.
I make an Aussie
I'm
and
just wrecking all the
Sabbath
LSD
references, and he brings up Adamant.
Yeah,
what
I know,
the heck?
But yeah, look, talking about
I'm here to
Adam,
balance you out, Scoots.
we did say right
Yin
at the
yang.
top of the show, we were talking about, you know, the players that have been under pressure. And it's interesting that the players that were under pressure have really sort of come out and performed for NiP at this event. Like, NiP are under tremendous pressure anyway. They need to get back to winning ways. This was a real opportunity to do it in the absence of TSM and Fnatic. So I think they had a very different kind of pressure to almost any other team that were here, perhaps maybe Envious as well. But Freiburg and Forest, we highlighted at the top, they're the ones that statistically haven't been pulling the weight. They make no bones about it. You talk to them, they admit it. But Forest top fragged, you know, both times. For his team there, that hasn't been happening for a long, long time. He looked way more like his old self. And Freiburg as well, you know, was back there, you know, not far behind him. Had some great moments on Dust 2, even though he's a little bit further down the score chart. Some wicked spray downs through the smoke, and he's looking more like his old self. And that's really, really good because those players have both been under this tremendous pressure. People are saying, oh, you know, if NiP need to make changes, it's going to be one of those two. Go, you can't get rid of Arlo, even though he's the new guy. You need Exist, get right to the start. So all of a sudden, you know, Forest and Freiburg are looking at each other like, well, which one of us is going to get chopped? So it must make for a real difficult situation. But they came out all guns blazing today, so credit to both of them.
Yeah. I know you were looking at some heat map stuff. Got anything for us over there?
Well, interestingly, even though Dust 2 was great, rather Train was a great game. Unfortunately, the heat map for that wasn't even worth looking at. It was like dots everywhere for both sides. There wasn't any pattern, okay? But for Dust 2, usually you wouldn't assess a game which was a stomp like that. But actually, I think this just shows what a stomp it was. Because look where all the heat map stuff is. This is when NiP is on CT side. So all the kills in B are like here. And at the corner there, there's no one's getting into the site and doing anything here. Middle, it's just a massacre ground on mid here and up here, which is when you're getting killed from the guy across shooting over from mid. And if you even get in the catwalk, you all die there. So basically, you're not ever getting to the sites here. Like in general, most of these kills over here, they aren't really like primary entries here. It's all literally choke point kills. And so, unfortunately, as much as you want to credit the Mouse tactical game for the rest of the game, they weren't able to get anything done here whatsoever. And it's not just that, oh, you know, Dust 2 is not a tactical map and all those sort of old cliches people bring out. It can be used as a tactical map. On this particular case, I think it was a mixture of the Mouse players were totally flat, but also the specific NiP players playing these spots. They were having field days. They were getting 3 kills every time, getting 4 kills. It was very rare. You never had those fragmented rounds that go into 3v2s, into a 2v2, into a 1v1. That just didn't happen. People just took care of everyone at their spot, and it became a shooting gallery. And so just 3 spots on the map is where all the kills took place, basically.
Reminds me a lot of when we were looking at the heat maps from Envious the other day. Pretty much the same thing. You know, they were getting kills at the point of access. As soon as they saw you, you were dead. And all you could really do was just get a call and, okay, maybe we don't go there. You're forced into a rotate with insufficient numbers. Boom, you bump into someone else. You're dead. All of a sudden, the round's over. Do we save? Don't we? And that's, I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be, you know, preying on Envious's mind, I'm sure. They've had some time to watch their opponents now prospectively in the final, and they're going to be thinking, well, you know what, that's kind of how we play.
Yeah.
That's kind of the form we're in at the moment on Dust 2. So that might play into the veto a little bit later on, provided Envious can overcome Dignitas.
Sure, sure. And again, you know, NiP does move to the grand final. They've secured themselves at least $20,000. Second place is $20,000. First place is $40,000. We're going to bring you the next semifinal. We've got Envious and Dignitas setting up right now in the booth. We're going to throw to a commercial break, but before we do that, we sat down and did one of our Mr. and Mrs. features that everyone seems to enjoy, and this one is with Get Right in Forest. You're going to enjoy this one. See you after the break.
Okay, dude, I'm blanking out. Can we cut this quick? Seriously? I think it's ESL Cologne when we won with NiP. Favorite food should be... Well, if ice cream is food, then ice cream for sure. I'm just gonna go with US. I'm gonna go with Justin Bieber here. He's been listening way too often to Justin Bieber, so I was gonna throw it out there. Justin Bieber.
Oh my god. So he asked a question about me.
I asked him 5 questions about you to see how well he knows you.
He's gonna fail.
So
0-5, he's gonna do that. Because when we did it on DreamHack, me and Freiburg, I had like 11-12 correct on Freiburg, but he had like 1-12.
Really?
Yeah.
Most memorable memory would probably be when we won IAM Global Finals in 2009.
He said ESL won Columbus.
What can I say? It was close. A few years in between.
Can't even think back 1 year. So.
That's actually true though. I always keep remind him about stuff which happened or will happen. While he's like, no, no, it's not like that. No, no, no. Is it my favorite food? Well, if you don't know this, you're... Okay, then I have to actually go to what Forrest believe. He would probably say like ice cream or something really stupid, but apparently it's ice cream. But
yeah, he got it. He said it. It was the first thing that popped into his head. Boom, nailed it.
But the thing was, I would probably say lasagna though.
No.
Because it says wide open.
He said ice cream. So.
Yeah, but ice cream is not food.
That's
Ice cream for the game.
You should know this. You should know this.
Okay. Oh my god.
Well, if you don't know this, since we've been there together a lot of times.
Okay, yeah, screwed up.
So you fucked.
I screwed up.
Okay, then I have to think about something really weird, and that's my favorite one to actually being close to it.
I don't know, I totally screwed that one.
But could it be like vacation, or could it just be something weird? I mean, I would say my favorite place from before, and I haven't found anything else, is Korea. And so, what does he answer?
America's not too bad, guys. I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving.
You must probably say like something really weird, like
leaving.
Something I've been listening on a lot, like Justin Bieber. Or
I got it. 2 points.
Oh, you did?
I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. We got this. I know this guy more better than anyone.
No, the thing is, I would probably not even give that as an answer. That's the problem. Because you said before this, like, think like Forrest would probably think about you. And I was like, okay.
Ice cream, Justin Bieber, US, you know? It's Gucci. We good. I'm good. I'm good. We did this.
It's
Gucci. I'm leaving.
But the thing is, like, if he did... But if he did...
But you played the game. That's the point.
Yeah, but if he didn't say, like, think like Forrest...
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.